trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
Mama said you're meant to burn as bright as a star among the midnight sky. All the pressure blinded me, but now I see I'm no different from the rest. You said I'd fly away, but my walls have kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. You said I'd fly anyway, but I keep on falling. open door. Show me proof that there is something more. I just hope I am okay with the choices I make. Maybe then I'll understand. You said I'd fly away, but my walls have kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. You said I'd fly anywhere, but I keep on falling. But I keep on falling.
When I was a child, everyone treated me badly, 'cause I was a little different. I just want to be belong. I won't let them get me down. I wanna be stronger, always remain true to myself. Let me explain. I'm so fast 'cause I'm hyperactive. Let go plus I think it makes me unattractive, but time goes fast, we should act like a fire, burning everything we know and what we require. I'm the last who maybe is a bit reflective. We're just facts of all self-destructive passion, but time goes fast, we should act like a fire, burning everything we know and what we desire. You get what I say. There will be better days. You get what I say. Start to make some peace, let yourself breathe. You get what I say. When you know there's a better place to reach. There will be better days. Don't get yourself seized, let your feelings ease. How can me finding myself? I wanna be here at the moment right now. I'm taking my fear and make it disappear. I'll make it work good and I'll show you how. I won't let them get me down. I wanna be stronger, always remain true to myself. Let me explain. I'm so fast 'cause I'm hyperactive. Let go plus I think it makes me unattractive, but time goes fast, we should act like a fire, burning everything we know and what we require. I'm the last who maybe is a bit reflective. We're just facts of all self-destructive passion, but time goes fast, we should act like a fire, burning everything we know and what we desire. You get what I say. There will be better days. You get what I say. Start to make some peace, let yourself breathe. You get what I say. When you know there's a better place to reach.
My head in my hands, listen up, says my teacher. In front of the class, he says if you're not a believer, all my views, that's on you. Better shape up and pay your dues. Of my views, that's on you. I'll be on a flight soon to Vienna singing, ooh. Gotta know all this propaganda, how do you do? Better get away my own medicine for you. Never gonna make them think I'll stand there. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose, don't mind if I do. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose, don't mind if I do.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Blitz. I'm Milo, brought here with Chaka, and we're going to be casting the game of the Unks versus Wildcard Aces. It's going to be a very exciting game coming forward to us. What are your thoughts going into this game in the pre-game, Chaka, so far?
interested to see how this game goes for Unks for a number of reasons. For one, they're at the bottom of the table. In their respective group, for Group A, they also have, I believe, it's TSG Gold and Envy in their group too. So this game is going to be very important to make sure that they can at least scrape by to maybe contest for the second place spot, which is currently held by TSG Gold, who, just like Envy in Group A, are unbeaten so far in this season. For Wildcard Aces, I believe they are in a playoff spot for their respective group. But since we are coming to a close for Blitz series, or for the Blitz suite, that means that these last 2 weeks that we have just for every single division going into the playoffs is going to be extremely important for any team that's currently in the last spot and that doesn't really have a chance at seeing playoffs.
Yeah, even when you're at the last spot, you can always make that late comeback with the last few remaining games left. So let's look over the rosters on the teams that are going to be facing us for tonight. That's for roster 1 for Team 1. And it will be the Unks up here. Obviously, Dead, Demi, Spokato, Unstoppable, and Zalazo. Spokato coming in as a sub. They've been seeming to have a lot of subs coming in and out for the Unks. That may be one of their problems when trying to win these games out and keep consistency.
Yep. Having subs come in and out of the team surely does mess up with the teamwork a lot of the time. Some players are not on the same page as one another. And for me, I've seen Unstoppable around plenty of teams as well. And I know he can be quite a decent player, especially at a T3 to T4 level. So it'll be interesting to see how he subs in for this for the Unks tonight. Or I think he's actually the permanent player. Spokito's the sub. And it'll be interesting to see how he actually plays with the rest of the squad, considering that the Unks are quite a chaotic team. They also lost their best player in Scary like a couple of months ago. And he's on another team doing a lot of great things. So now they have to depend on not only their sub player, but also the player that they brought in as a replacement for Scary to actually do a lot of the heavy lifting to get them out of the tough spot that they're currently in for the Blitz Suite.
Yeah, and now we're going to look over Team 2, obviously going to be that Wildcard Aces roster, which also seems to be fluctuating quite a lot with its members. Obviously, Teddy and Kronk going to be those mainstay players. JMN, Schmink, and Zach Killer. I'm pretty sure Zach Killer and JMN are going to be those subs out. And who are they missing actually currently? I'm pretty sure you got it down and also noted it down for yourself.
Yeah, it was Twizzler and Mr. B, which Twizzler is kind of like a flex entry, or at least from what I've noticed of him. I can't remember because it's been a while since I've watched him play. He's kind of came back into comp play in T3 or high T3, mid to high T3. It's been a while since I've seen him nonetheless. For Mr. B, everybody knows who Mr. B is. He's a pretty significant voice for any team that he happens upon. And so now that the Wildcard Aces have not only lost one of their main players in Twizzler, but they've also lost their main IGL, this may be a good chance for the Unks to potentially grab some points on the board, because Wildcard Aces, just like how the Unks have been this season, may just be very chaotic with the way that they play, and they may not have as much coordination as they usually would if they did have their main roster with Twizzler and Mr. B here.
I'd have to agree, obviously, their last performance, I'm pretty sure they just lost out to that TSG Black roster, losing out 2-1. Very close encounter, I'm pretty sure it was streamed on the Siege Double Shot channel. But yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's going to be that close game. I definitely could see a free mapper coming out, but talking about the maps, let's see where we are going to be having this game take place for ourselves. Border, Lair, Bank, Chalet being banned out. Surprisingly, the Chalet being banned out. I feel like they're seen quite a lot in the NA scene as of recently. I think it's that new mainstay map with obviously Oregon being completely removed. I think Chalet is your more default basic map that a lot of teams like to go to nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think Wildcard Aces prefer this map at all, really. I think this is a really good map for the Unks. Historically, at least since Xenon, since the most recent full season of Xenon, for example, the Unks played Chalet quite a bit and were a very scary team to play against, especially for some of the staple T2 teams like Karn & Co. They lost to the Unks on Labs, but like the Unks also played, I think it was Fluffy Aimers and a couple other teams at a T2 level and ended up beating them on Chalet. So this makes a lot of sense for the Wildcard Aces to get rid of this map. Not only are the Unks really, really good at it, but Wildcard Aces also don't prefer to play this map. The Unks also don't like Border. Historically, they haven't really chosen this map, and they've always had this as one of their first ban. Lair also makes a lot of sense. It's one of the newer maps in the map pool. It's quite a complicated map for teams to learn, especially at this level. So I can see either team banning it. It doesn't matter who. It just makes a lot of sense that it's actually one of the first 2 maps to be banned here.
Especially with subs, it makes a lot of sense. Like you said, it's a complicated map. You definitely don't want subs coming in to ruin the flow you have on a certain map. Now we're going to see what maps we will actually be going to. The first 2 maps coming up, which maps picked. The Unks picking Cafe makes a lot of sense to me, because it's currently in the standings. I'm pretty sure Cafe is the only map they have won, and that was all the way back on play day 1 against Morn Battalion. They were able to beat them out, which was 8-7 on Cafe, where they did also have 2 subs playing. Yes, they are up against a team of Morn Battalion that also had a sub playing in that game, but still, being able to win out on Cafe, it's smart to take the team back to a map where you're familiar on.
I also think that beating Mormon Battalion on a Cafe, when Mormon Battalion like Cafe and are also pretty good at it at a T3 level, is very impressive as well. Now going on to the second pick of Skyscraper, picked by Wildcard Aces. That's going to be their first and only pick in this whole map ban phase that they have against the Unks. Skyscraper is a very interesting map. I don't remember them playing this all that much, but this may just be, and excuse the pun, this may just be a wildcard that they're throwing in there to throw the Unks off guard, because I don't remember seeing the Unks play Skyscraper that much. So to see it being picked here today by Wildcard, I know they like to play this map quite a bit, actually. So that doesn't surprise me too much. Cafe doesn't surprise me because the Unks do like this map. They've had much better success on this map this season than they've had on any other map. Like you said, that is the only map that they've won. So again, the map picks are really surprising to me. And I'm actually really, really happy with what we gotten so far in the best of 3, because this could confirm that we get a third map.
Yeah, we're going to see what that third map will have to be if we are forced to it, and it will be Nighthaven. Like you said, that's one of the maps that the Unks have been very good on. They were able to beat out a lot of good teams in XGS. Obviously, that was with Scary on their board, but now we're going to see if they can do it without him, if they are still strong, especially with the 2 subs on board. But so far, I agree with you. These 3 maps are looking very tasty for if you are neutral to the game.
And Labs as well. I don't remember seeing, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's a lot of me trying to remember exactly what maps these teams are trying to play on, or what maps they played on and also have been very successful on. I mentioned the Youngs have played Labs before against the T2 team in Carnico, former Element 1 winners, and they beat them in quite a convincing way. That was back in the last full season for Xenon, where I think it was like the second play day, and they like destroyed them 7-3, and I thought that was like a really good map for the Youngs to play on. And we talk about like the substitute changes and what that may mean for teamwork. Labs, Cafe, and Skyscraper are all 3 maps that depend heavily on teamwork and how you plan to clear the map on the attacking side. So I'm going to be looking at that aspect of the game for both teams when they're on their attack for all 3 maps, if we go to all 3 maps.
And talking about the maps, we are now ready to get into the game, and we will be going into it right away, and it will obviously be the Unks pick. So here we go. Very excited to start off with Cafe here. It's going to be a very good map. I'll be surprised if the Wildcard Aces aren't defending first, and yes, they will be. So that means they get that opening ban as well, and I will be surprised to see if it's not the Monty coming out, as I feel like he's not only a strong force on Cafe, but just a strong force in general.
I also have other options for the attacking ban here. I've seen some teams on Cafe, namely Fluffy Aimers, ban out things like the Capitao, which makes a lot of sense. You also have other attackers available to you to ban out for Ying, both Ying and Capitao, and also Grim. Very good for Skylight executes if a defending team picks the third floor, which, speaking of third floor, as a site that's been phased out for most defensive rotations, and usually you'll see defensive teams end up deviating to the second floor and the first floor site. So Ying's going to be banned. That makes a lot of sense with the Monty up first. So yeah, you were right. It's no surprise that Monty's banned here on Cafe.
No, it's not much of a surprise, and I think going back to what you said about the top floor, I think that mainly does come from the fact is that Azami does make holding piano a lot easier, and I think I'll be surprised if Wildcard Aces doesn't ban her out, and I think that's why people lessly go to that top floor bomb site, because Azami makes that bomb site completely viable. Without Azami, you can hold so many angles from piano windows all the way through, take that control very quickly, very easily, and then slowly get an execute going down. I think that's the main problem. The window play on that top floor bomb site is just so strong and so easy to just use without an Azami on board.
And speaking of third floor, with the Azami being banned, it's going to be Wildcard Aces to pick into the third floor. Not a very popular site for defenders to pick into, especially not in a pro level play, just because quite literally the second floor sites have trumped the third floor in terms of quality and easiness to defend. So kind of surprising that the Wildcard Aces do pick the third floor to be their first site to defend, but they do have some tools available to them in order to make defending this area of the map a lot easier. They brought 2 deployable shields. They've also brought the Warden, and even though the Ying is banned, you still have other operators to worry about, other pieces of utility, like the smoke grenades and like the Capital bolts. But for the attacking side, the Unks have not picked into Capital. They are going to pick into that Grim, though, that I talked about, which is so good for this third floor site and on Cafe as a whole.
Yeah, the Grim's great. It just allows you to make sure those people can't play in those power positions without getting constantly pinged. And but talking about constantly pinged, Demi and Zolaris take out Kronk and Zack Killer early on. The early aggression, the early spawn peaks coming out from Wildcard Aces, not going to pay off in the end. Beautiful, just slow down play. The Unks, they've been here before. They have that experience. They know what's going to come up. But Teddy gets a C4 right back off. So many picks going back and forth. 3 people already dead inside the first 40 seconds of the game. And now the defenders will have to hold on in this 3v4. Still very possible for the defense. But I definitely have to give the favor for the Unks. I think they've done really well at just waiting for the aggression, as they know the Wildcard Aces love to be aggressive. They love to try and get those early picks on the board, as we've seen all throughout most of their games in Blitz this season.
I also think that the Wildcard Aces have done a very good job battling down from 2 men down to get the only hard breacher that the Unks have here. That means challenging into the piano position is going to be a lot harder because, of course, you do not have another way to walk inside of piano without opening up top red, because they do not have any hard breach available to them. Spookito has decided to bring the EMP impacts instead of the hard breach charges, which makes playing behind that shield a lot easier. And since you do still have some Midas stuff, I'm assuming around that pixel area, you will have this shield surviving. And it looks like maybe the Ash charge missed because I heard an explosion, and that shield is still up. So this is going to be a lot harder for the Unks than I thought it would have been, especially if they do have those 2 picks in the favor of them.
Not even just, but a beautiful pick coming out from Smook. I don't know why he's peeking. I was going to say, not only did both the Ash charge not hit, all 4 grenades also did not hit. Maybe they were using it as burn, but Teddy gets another one back for his side. He's been able to battle back the odds both times around. Can he maybe even get himself a third to even the man count completely? Unks have completely slowed down now. They're waiting, trying to figure out what these final players are, and there you go. Unstoppable finally shuts down Teddy, goes below, waits for him to try and get aggressive onto that heaven balcony. It's all up to JMN in this 1v3. He at least gets one though onto Demi. Now looking for a second, he gets it. Unstoppable down. It's all up to Spook now in the 1v1, and he doesn't get it. JMN clutches the 1v3, and Wildcard Aces get their first round on the board despite looking like it going definitely into the favor of the Unks.
And the Unks started off really well with 2 opening picks, punishing the aggression from Wildcard Aces, who've had their aggression throughout that whole round being punished. And it just took one player sitting next behind the long bar, and the Unks just going through one doorway and not really deviating their push much. And I think that was because they sent the Grim Bees out into Freezer. They may have thought that the Warden was maybe sitting next to Stacks or in the cocktail bar area. And so they just thought they could just like walk in for free. They didn't really do enough info gathering to figure out where that last player was. And that's what really happened in the end. They just go through one doorway. They had no idea where the Warden was that whole entire time. But apart from that, they did a very good job of continuing to shut down the over-aggression that Wildcard Aces have showcased throughout this whole map. An aggression that they've showcased throughout throughout this group of players whole time on this roster during their T3 days.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's very questionable coming out from the Unks, at least for me. I don't know why you funnel at least the last remaining 2 players through the door separately. They could have definitely just reset again, waited for each player to get unavailable to refrag each other off. Instead, they took separate 1v1 gunfights, trying to take him out, trying to ego him out, not going to take them around in the end. And I gotta say, Wildcard Aces, they definitely must feel very happy getting away with that victory. Clutch always boosts morale for your team. I got that eventually. And it's definitely going to do that for their team. I know it's only been one round, but it always is going to be an impact throughout the game, because now they know they have that in their locker. But the Unks will not be making that same mistake again. They're going to go for this full top-down clear. This is the slowest round it's taken for us to get a kill, but to be fair, it's only been 40 seconds. Now going to see, no one is actually playing in and around this top floor, or even the second floor for Wildcard Aces. It's going to be that full bunker coming out, so they do have this complete control of the two other floors.
Yep, but I wonder how much the vertical is going to help impact this side here, because for most defenses, the way that they like to hold it is through the horizontal. So I think for now, this is about just like clearing some of the anchor positions around site to make it easier to penetrate once you do get that control around the site. Namely, if you're going for a white stairs execute, you want to get that Christmas position, or you want to go ahead and get coat check as well, or you want to get a mixture of coat check and a bakery position. Either way, first kill comes in the way of the vertical because Kronk is playing inside of the site. I didn't think he was going to, but that is going to be the first kill in favor of the Unks.
Yeah, Kronk being the first pick, 2 rounds in a row, not really going to help them out. JMN also pressured off that top red position. He may be able to go down for a later flank when all the execute is happening somewhere else. But at the moment, he is being forced back all the way into coat check. Vertical control being established. They also know that the drone is inside of sight, so there's no opportunity for the scopers to actually teleport maybe all the way back up to the top floor and go for that late flank, late opportunity. But now their next step is probably going to be either clearing out the guy, obviously inside a bakery and inside a small bake, or clearing out the guy inside a VIP. It depends what kind of take they want to go for, and it's not going to be bakery is going to be the option. Do they know, though, that the Legion has moved all the way inside of small bake? As if they don't, they could just walk in unaware of his position.
No, and they do just that. They don't know that the guy's hiding behind a counter. Teddy whips the shots, and Zolaris makes him pay for it. That's bakery control. Teddy's down, and the Unks still retain their main advantage while also making it worse for the Wildcard Aces. Now 4v2. Another player falls in favor for the Unks, and Zolaris finds his double for the round. He has the fuser in hand, and he can plant next to the rice if he wants to. But no, he falls down. Where actually is the diffuser? Because it doesn't seem like the Unks have that in their possession. Now they finally do. Spikito gets that down. And although Zach does find a kill back, you have a 2v1 against you. The fuser's now down, and the next two attackers know exactly where you are. That's a nice headshot from Zach. And now
no way they throw another...
Go.
I say no way they throw another 1v3, and it nearly is, but Zakala gets the final pick as a trade. I'll skip the beat.
Yeah. I don't really understand the over-aggression there from the Unks. Again, you can tell that they didn't really necessarily reset, and they still had the diffuser in their control. At first, I was like, why are they pushing deep? Because at that point, I was like, maybe I lost sight of the diffuser, because I'm sure the Unks had that in their control. They did have it in their control. They eventually got it down. And although it came very, very close, they eventually do clutch out a round just based off of numbers alone and then the one-on-one trade against the Wildcard Aces. You can tell that this is going to be an aggressive game from the jump. Not only is it from the Wildcard Aces, where they do seem to be like on their feet at all times, maybe 2 on their feet, maybe 2 giddy to get into a gunshot. And for the Unks, they seem to just like not know when to slow down when the situation calls for it. And yes, that game or that round came into like the last 5 seconds with the diffuser going down. But still, you have full site control. You also have bakery. There should be no reason why everyone's just like pushing into like the same doorways, pushing too deep, taking gunfights. It doesn't make sense. You could have played that a lot safer.
I have to agree, it does seem like Wildcard Aces, they really like to go for that early aggression. The very early start, they go for those early picks, looking to get into the vase of the Unks, quick and fast, trying to control the tempo of the game. Whereas the Unks, they start off quite slow, actually. They try to just slow down, take the ground into their favor, and then wait for the aggression to come out them. But as soon as they have that man advantage, and even the opportunity maybe to go for a partner that's on the last one, they then get really aggro. It's very much the opposite of the two teams. One's aggro early round, one aggro late round. C4 comes out again. I think that time it was from Zach, but doesn't land onto the board. No kills this time out. I think it was the same C4 that actually Teddy hit in the first round. And again, surprisingly, only one hard breach. I know for Cafe, you don't really need multiple, but it is surprising to see that maybe you don't have two players with one player with VP, and maybe, as I'm saying that, Zach gets the opening pick instead. The C4 doesn't land, but his gun will land instead.
Yep, Zolaris goes down. They don't really have the information necessary because of the mute jammer. And it's pretty smart from Zach to play into the ticket position and just wait for their window repels, just because I think he was in that position from the start of the round. Now the Wildcard Aces, or rather the Unks, have to do have a really big job in their hands to try and kill Zach inside of this position. But because they have one player on new map, the Grimbies are doing their job. There should be no reason as to why Zach gets a second, but that's exactly what he does. He takes down Doug, that was on a new map position, and now the Wildcard Aces have a 2-man advantage in their favor.
Not only that, but Zach Killer gets all the way back to full HP thanks to the dock stim. He now is able to play his position strong, and Teddy gets another one onto Spook, and then Unstoppable goes down. Zach is having a heater in this round as Smink at least goes down, but Zach finishes off just how he started, a 4K on the round, and Wildcard Aces get their second defensive round on the board, and it just looks very puzzling from Wildcard Aces, but from the Unks, they had the information, they knew what their player was, but they just didn't really get the players in time to try and pinch him out.
Yep, and realistically, they had the tools for it as well. The Grimbies doing the work to figure out the information, to figure out where Zach was that whole entire time. They knew that he was in the cigar box. They knew he was there. They had a pinch established over by the new balcony, and even that wasn't enough. I think Zach is just better, and he proved it with the triple. And the thing is that him rotating to like the cigar box was so dangerous considering the amount of control that the Unks got really early. They still had their ace up, so that meant they could get the top red wall open looking into ticket. They also had top red control because they got that wall open and because Zach had to rotate away from the ticket position. And they established window control yet again. But that still wasn't enough, and you can tell, again, the Wildcard Aces really depend on very fast, aggressive plays individually. And Zach, now being 8-2, is showing off his individual skills so far in this very important game for the Unks that need a win to further their chances of actually making playoffs.
Yeah, and obviously Zach was actually one of the first two players that was killed in the first round because of his early spawn peak attempt. So it's not even that he's had 2 rounds to actually play with and has been able to get a 4K both of those rounds. He is very much, when he's alive, one of those top players for Wildcard Aces to go out. I'm going to see if he can maybe impact this round again, as this time around, he's not going to be going for that spawn peak on this top floor. Wildcard Aces, they were able to win out the top floor last time they came here, but it was down to Unks throwing a 1v3, but as I'm saying that, Zach does go for that early aggression. He gets the opening pick this time around out for his spawn peak. Doesn't get cut off either by Unstoppable on that snow door. Very poor heads-up play coming out from that Striker. And now Zach can also get back up to full HP just like he did in that previous round. And he's going to be a nightmare for the Unks to try and clear out, and Dead gets one, but Dead gets 2 actually, with the Claymore kill, and then taking out Zach when he tries to jump out the second time round, but will Schmink go for the triple jump out here?
He doesn't. It looks like he wants to run out bottom right, maybe to look over towards the balcony. He does just that. Oh my god, that was actually pretty cool. And he kills Dead off rip. Dead, now the ace is gone for his third floor site. But because the Wildcard Aces are so off site, they surrender site controls. Zolaris is able to walk in long bar. He's able to grab a second kill after grabbing the first with Freezer. And the last player alive of Schmeek is rotating up white. But the site control is in favor of attack, and he has 2 people against him. Do they know about this rotation? One is planting in the tight right corner of the cocktail area. And with the gunshots now sounded by Schmeek, he gives away his position. The flick from Zolaris confirms that last kill, and Yunks tied the game up.
Wow, this is becoming a very, very fun game, honestly. Aggression coming out from either side. All 3 rounds coming down to, or at least 3 rounds at least, coming down to the wire. The round before was quite dominant. But we're getting a mixture of every single kind of round. We've seen comebacks, we've seen dominant displays, we've seen early aggression, we've seen throws. It's been very fun to watch this game so far out. I think the Unks did very well at stabilizing themselves after losing those 2 opening picks. It kind of was the opposite of what we saw on that top floor bomb round the last time out. The Wildcard Aces, they lost the 2 opening picks and then had to stabilize themselves. This time, the Unks did it. They stabilized themselves. You saw Dead get those 2 picks back, not with, obviously, one with a Claymore and then one with his own gun, obviously then losing his life shortly afterwards. But then, like you said, they left so much opportunity on that site just to be taken by the attackers. They were able to take their 2v1 or their 2v2 on site, win out both gunfights in the end. I don't know how they were able, though, to just get the gridlock to look so deep inside of Longbar.
It's an interesting one. I think she came in top red, probably dropped the hatch. Everybody else was like either by brown stairs, bottom white towards reading. And so she was just able to walk in. I know there was like 1 player in freezer, but you can't exactly see somebody walk in from top red to cigar box or towards the cigar box area or CS. And then walk in towards Long Barn, which is where Zolaris got his last 2 kills, now 5 and 3. Really big player for the team. He's showing up quite well and finding those gaps and exploiting wildcard aces when they do overextend like that. So now the Unks are in a lot earlier than I expect them to be with the Jackal and the Ash of Unstoppable and Doug already in the first floor. And Spook finds the very first kill. That's going to be Schmeek down. The wildcard aces have a man disadvantage very early on.
Yeah, obviously, again, coming out. We saw this before, though. We've seen them come back from that early man disadvantage. It's all about if they can do so again. Schmink not having the best of games, and Unstoppable nearly going down from Zach on those top red stairs. He's been much a nuisance for this Unk side. This time, obviously, they're going for more of a bottom-up. And as I say that, 3 players go all the way up to the roof. They were able to take that middle floor control because they know that's what the Unk or the Wildcard Aces have been loving to be playing a lot of this recent round. As you can see, Unstoppable still going to be on that middle floor, holding the positions, holding to make sure no of the attackers want to rotate back down. No C4, though, going to be on the board for Wildcard Aces. Teddy has already used it probably early on, going for that another early spawn peak pick with it. Not obviously didn't land in the end. I'm going to see if the Unks can actually finally establish this lead. No picks have gone, though, inside a minute, despite having this early advantage, and not much map ground either, though. So curious to see what the Unks have been doing for the past minute, and now nearly losing their life to Zach Killer. Eventually does Zolaris, gets taken out. Still nothing really being established. I think it's just poor currently from the Unks.
You have information aiding Wildcard Aces, and that enables Zach to find his double. Can maybe find a third, and he was almost close to finding the head of Unstoppable. And yeah, the Unks this whole entire round have really spent the whole round getting no control and doing nothing. And so they pay for it. Wildcard Aces get restless. They have information, and on top of that, they have the gun power in order to fully shut down the Unks this whole entire round. Nothing was done, and it's an easy round win for the Wildcard Aces. Okay, that was kind of funny.
A little bit of fun is coming out. I would say, yeah, I don't know what the Unks did. They had that man advantage so early on in the game, and then it felt like for a minute, they just stood around waiting for maybe the Wildcard Aces to again go for that ultra aggressive play. And then after a minute, when it didn't happen, they got comfortable. They felt comfortable, tried to push it, and then that's when Zach Killer activated. He popped up out of nowhere, able to get his 3K again on the round. It feels like every time he pops up in a round, he's able to get a multi-kill after a multi-kill. And then Teddy and JMN as supporting staff to help finish off the round, getting 1 kill each. And now we're going to see how they're going to go in this, obviously, reading and mining bomb site. They won it out last time they came out. They won it out flawlessly just because the Unks had no control of the top floor, never able to offset Zach Killer in that position. But he's not going to be the mute this time, going to be more of a presence, obviously lurking around with that Vigil, with that Boshi, probably the most overpowered gun in the current meta of Siege.
And wonder what the active plan here is from the Unks. Because I noticed a lot of times they like to go for these very one-dimensional pushes, apart from that one round where they were on the third floor was hilarious. Just finds a gap on the other side where everyone else is, and he wins the round for the Unks. Last round, they just kind of attacked from red, even though despite having control around the second floor, they didn't even attempt to go for a white push. So I'm hoping that this time around they aren't going to be as one-dimensional, but already this round is starting off with a really negative result so far for the Unks, because it seems like Spookito fell or maybe got shot. Either way, he was down early on, and he's now down to 20 HP, which means that he's one shot.
But somehow Demi's able to get himself very deep inside a pillar, but the timing, he looks away as soon as Zach swings, and it's a freebie for the Vigil. In the end, Demi goes down despite great early control being found. He's able to lurk inside a pillar, but nothing found in the end, just the end of his life. And now we're going to see how the Unks can come back from this man disadvantage. We've seen them do it before, but it's going to be hard to maybe do it at the same time, especially with Dead now dying. Spook onto 1 HP. Spook fully taken out. Zach is able to get a free K on the round, eventually finally finished off, but it's left them into this 1v3, and Kronk and Teddy are able to eventually close it out, get a great 4-2 defending split in the end. I'm questioning something about the Unks. I don't really see much adaptation from that lineup. I feel like it always has. You see the Grim, you see the Ace, you see the Ash, and you see the Dokkaebi. A lot of the times I don't see much of a change. Surprisingly, not seeing maybe a Blitz come out as more some of that aggression to just deal with getting some map control even quicker than they've been currently going.
I also think they're just like moving too slow. Teddy even pointed it out in the chat that they just move like really slowly, and then they realize, oh, we actually do need to do something. They hop in, they try and get like random parts of the map that may not be relevant to their whole push, and players are just dying in individual spots without really gaining anything from it. Like Demi was like in pillar for a good chunk of that round, and the Wildcard Aces knew about it the whole entire time, and he just kind of like didn't really get to do anything with this position. It seemed like the Unks also maybe wanted to go for a diving execute, jumping in from the mining window and then just bombarding trains. But you not only did you have somebody in trains, but you had somebody up top for the Wildcard Aces, and so they never really accounted for any of the vertical control that might have affected them throughout that whole push. It was just kind of like, okay, it just didn't really feel like they were working together. I don't really know what the dialogue is there, so it just didn't really feel like there was much to it.
I'd have to agree with that. To be fair, they are the Unks. You don't normally see old people move that fast. We're going to see how they adapt. Obviously, Siege, a game of two halves. Going to see if maybe they can do better on their defenses. And they've already started off very strongly. Schmink going down to Demi on the Deimos as well. That is a big operator to go down. You can now go onto that middle floor, maybe roam a little bit more freely, as you know they're not going to be able to ping you out. And especially with the players, maybe if Deimos wanted to go below, try to snap one of those players up with, obviously with the Deimos pistol, with the pings, you can just shoot them through the floor. Some freebies that could have been established, not going to be so. And then the mute jammer, making sure that floor drone can't really stop Dade from playing in this position. I think the Grimbees are on him, but at the same time, he's in a mute jammer now, so he's not going to be being pinged out. A great establishment coming out from the Unks, showing how different operators can just change different abilities, but the drones are going to come out. They spot him out, they know he's there, and it's a free pick for JMN. And now Wildcard Aces get their pick back. 4v4, how are they going to start establishing this execute?
Well, they already just walk into CS. Was Malusi shooting at them, but she just runs straight away. That was unstoppable. Then he finds his second of the round. He's completely tearing apart the Wildcard Aces, as he's the only one in this round for the Unks to actually get a kill, but he has to make his adventure all the way back up from White Stairs, which is where he jumped out from, or at least from the dining window. They do have some control around the CS area, but they still have to progress further on in the map. A player is in bathroom, looking straight at a player from the double doors of CS, and they go down. So the Wildcard Aces are fumbling at the scenes as this first attacking round isn't really going in their way, and you only have Teddy in a 1v3. Never say never, because they clutched this out one round before, but with Teddy now going down to 17 HP, this may not be possible. He may not even get a chance to pick up Zach, because you already have the Unks pushing forward, aggressing, or at least one of them is, and he might not even get a chance to rest without the Unks hearing this. He's going to attempt the revive, and already a player's pushed up from behind in Piano. And that was Zolaris finding the last 2 kills for the Unks. Ending it off strong, just as quickly or just as strongly as the Unks started off that round.
Yeah, I've got to give that to Demi. His great early aggression to find that Deimos really put a nail in the side for Wildcard Aces. It really put a thorn trying to figure out how they can adapt to that round, because I think the main run of the execute came around trying to use that Deimos to try and go below, figure out where the players were, using his tracker to shoot them through the ceiling. And I feel like in the end, they just didn't really adapt well enough. They just went for that early aggression, dropping around red, trying to take CS quickly. They were able to kill the mute, but then they were collapsed on by the final defenders, and Demi was able to get the only player really not established in and around red that was maybe going for a backstab or just holding the cutoff on the window. And then they were just stuck like fish in a barrel, waiting to end their life, waiting for their demise, and it came to them through Zalara swinging round the corner on the 2 low HP players. But they do rotate, obviously, they have to now. Going down to this kitchen bomb site, going to see how they establish this time round out. No middle floor being seen yet from the Unks. They'll have to go to it next. Going to be curious how to see how they do defend out this kitchen bomb site, as it looks like a similar take or similar defense coming out from Wildcard Aces, as they like to hold it through that horizontal. But there is going to be a lot more of a roam, as you see a lot of players on that second floor area. Going to see both Legion and Vigil, so it's going to have to maybe be a top-down from Wildcard Aces if they want to deal with those 2 players.
Funnily enough, where exactly the Unks were looking at when it came to the spawns, their spawn peaks, is where most of the Wildcard Aces players didn't really spawn at. It's like towards Bakery, and also towards the white area. I can't remember what that spawn is called. Either way, nothing is found for the Unks early, but you do find an early pick in favor of the Wildcard Aces. That's Jaemin to find the kill. Shmeek does go down on that ram, and it looked like they wanted to put some emphasis on vertical control, so they already lost a pretty pivotal part to their lineup if that was the case. But at the moment, I'm not really too sure where the main push here is coming from the Wildcard Aces, because they seem to be everywhere, but nowhere at the same time. Crump does find some good control in Bakery, already being pushed up in his position.
It feels like a bit of split fray coming out from Wildcard Aces, trying to figure out where the softest place is from the side of the Unks, and they've tried to figure out, and their basis on their theory is it's going to be Bakery. They're able to get the full control, able to not only that get the wall open, able to lurk inside of Prep, but Spook saying in his name he's trying to go Super Saiyan, and so far he's gotten 2 picks on the round. He's living up to the namesake. Can he get another, as he's stuck? The only man that's really trying to stop this push at the moment, deep on that bomb site. They know where he is with the Grimbees, so it's only left if they can punish him. But Zach trying to go for this luck. Gets a good control inside the lobby, but taken down by Unstoppable. And now Wildcard Aces numbers have been given away, as they've only got 2 people left. Jay and Men now only 1, as Solaris a double kill with the boss tree. Not often do you see that, both bullets being used to effect, and now the Unks, they've evened it up.
And honestly, Zach really needed to make an impact towards the front door area, get a kill towards Cope, and if he did get that kill towards Cope, he could hold off the red stairs player. And that makes it easier then for the Wildcard Aces to try and make an execute happen in from Bakery. They didn't end up getting that kill. Zach was pinched by 2 players, and he couldn't really figure out exactly where the Marusi was. And so the Wildcard Aces fall in that round. They also were suffering a man down due to some early kills going in favor of the Unks, despite getting the first kill in favor of the Wildcard Aces. And they didn't really get much for the control that they gathered. Like, they got some really good control in Bakery just because the Unks weren't holding that position of the map. And then they were also able to like walk in through Prep, but they got immediately smoked after that. So now the Unks doing very well at holding down some of their ground, holding down really important parts of the map. And I noticed a difference between their defenses and the Wildcard Aces. They do get aggressive, but they do have a limit to their aggression. And while they do get aggressive early, during the mid round, they do like to pull off a little bit, which is what I like. I like to see that type of self-control from a defensive team.
I'd have to agree. I'm also going to give some credit to Spukito, because he was on his own trying to establish, making sure no one could really push through Bakery or through Prep. He's the only man that could really stop it in that situation, and he's able to get a double as well. Not only even in the man count, but then taking it back onto the favors of the Unks. But now they do have to play that middle 4 bomb site. It's curious to see why it would be a team's tertiary. We said in the opening that the top floor wasn't played a lot, but it's been both teams' primary bomb sites, funny enough. Obviously has been won both times, or at least 2 out of the 3 times it's been played. But now with this middle 4 bomb site, it's going to be a similar setup that Wildcard Aces use that mute again in that cigar shop area that they're gonna have to clear up. Curious about these red wall footholds, as no one's actually in the position to play it. But Zach drops down. Can he get the play? Yes, he can. A free pick. Dead had no idea that Zach had dropped down, and Zach again being that spearhead for Wildcard Aces, just like he was on their defending round. 16 and 6 currently. But Zolaris is right behind him on that inside of Piano, but he's going to drop below, go back with his team, go back closer to site. It's now only Spookito to try and stop them on this onslaught on this top floor. And he was able to do it last time. He's able to stop them from pushing through Bakery and through Prep, but it's going to be a lot harder this time around out, I feel.
Yeah. And to be fair, I don't blame Spookito for holding on to this position, especially seeing as he does have at least one mirror up. And you do need to retain some top 4 control. You just give this up to the attackers and they win the whole entire game. But Wildcard Aces, they have no information to help Zach, and he just runs straight into Freezer. Dies almost immediately. That was very easy for Spookito with the mirror still up by stacks to get. And now, even though they do have some moves happening around this second floor, they've lost 2 picks whilst having a lot of influential control. So very good stuff there from the Unks, from Spookito specifically, and they have the main advantage.
Yeah, I said he couldn't probably do it again this time around, but he proves me wrong. He does it again. They think he's behind the bookcase, but he was actually able to lurk away from it as the angle that the player was holding just wasn't long enough to be able to see when he moved across. A C4 he also still inside for Spookito. Schmink pushes in, not able to find one, but does find Zolaris instead, and Spookito goes down to Kronk. They're still worried about a player behind the bookshelf. There's no one going to be there. Where is Diffuser? It's going to be in hands of Teddy, looking for the part inside the reading. They know the player is flanking, and he gets taken down. It's all up to Schmink on this cover. Will he be able to find it? No, it's stoppable with the double! The triple actually in the end, and they clutch out the round somehow from the depths. The Diffuser going fully down. Unstoppable was literally that in this round. Unstoppable 3K post-spawn situation. Beautiful from him.
And the thing is that the Wildcard Aces did a very good job at finally getting some control around the 3rd floor. They killed Spookito trying to retake up White. That was a gridlock. And they finally gained some side control. They read into the flank really well while they were defusing. And I don't know what happened. Unstoppable got 1 kill, I think, towards the vertical player. And then he ended up not only killing the diffuser, the person defusing, but he also ended up killing the player behind the bookcase. And I think the way he killed the player who was defusing was because that whole bookcase that you usually plant behind that default plant spot was just broken entirely open. And so that's why you saw the Brava for Wildcard Aces get a little bit hectic with the way that he was moving, holding everything, because he knew that not only were they exposed from the flank, but they were also exposed from the front realistically, because they lost that vertical control with the gridlock dying upstairs. So, like, I don't know if that was a read from Unstoppable in that situation, but he did clutch up the 1v3, and that was, like, an insane clutch with the shots that he hit.
I have to agree. I think it comes down to the gridlock. Instead of staying on the top floor, they do try to just progress down White, and I think that's where Unstoppable actually got the first pick. The impressive part for me from that clutch is the fact that Unstoppable gets 2 picks with that SMG-11 in the final couple moments of that round, as our gun only has 17 bullets. You have to hit your shots, but Zolaris goes down again. That killer getting that opening pick. Zolaris completely unaware. It's up to the rest of the players, and that's going to be their top frag as well. He was very instrumental during their attacking rounds to at least get 2 Wildcard Aces. They're looking for this answer back. And another curious part about this site at the moment, it's going to be the 4th bomb site. They're not going back to that top floor hold. You don't normally see this from teams. You do not normally see them go to all 4 bomb sites as a precedent. You normally have your 3 mainstay, as Zach gets another pick. Shmink as well. Dead at least traded with Zach, but it's now all up to Spook and Unstoppable, the 2 heroes of that last round, of Spook getting a 2k, Unstoppable getting the 3k to finish off the round. Are they able to clutch it out for a second time round? Looks like Wildcard have restarted and are looking to start getting up their execute, but Spook will answer back again in this round, getting at least one, putting it down to this 2v3, and now Unstoppable getting pinged out, getting shot at. They know there's a player on this window. Spook looking for him to rappel in. It doesn't look like he's going to be going to his. Teddy will be jumping into Machine very shortly, trying to get that diffuser, but Unstoppable takes the player with the diffuser down, all the way onto 20 HP, and Spook gets one. It's all up to Spook versus JMN in this 1v1 fight. Who's going to win it out?
Wow, this situation flipped on its head. I have no idea who's going to win it out. JMN's all the way in sight with the diffuser controls. Spookito's all the way in the reading room, and he has to read this situation correctly. It doesn't seem like the Unks have a bunch of information on this, so he's going to go ahead and just confirm the diffuser and put himself in an advantageous position with the window open right behind him. It's not safe with Spookito pushing in and progressing. He can't jump right back out, so he stays his ground after planting the diffuser, and he smokes Spookito on that mirror, and the Wildcard Aces tie up the game to potentially send us into OT if either one of these teams don't win in regulation.
These rounds have been going crazy right now. Back and forth, back and forth. It is very just insane. Like, they've gone down to 1v1s, 1v3s every single round. I think only really one round has been dominant really for either side. So this game has really lived up to the billings. It shows how important this game is for both teams. It really does, as both teams need these points to at least give them an opportunity, give them a chance to make playoffs. I think it is way more important obviously for the Unks as they sit down all the way at the bottom with some heavy hitters as well in their conference. I'm surprised they didn't get that, honestly. It looked like they were able to fight back again. The control was Unstoppable and Spook, the 2 players that have been so great in this defending half for them at getting back that man advantage of getting through these clutches. And now we're going to see them go all the way back down to the kitchen bomb site, not re-attempting the mining and dining bomb site. And I say they actually looked very good on this bomb site last time. I think this was their dominant round for me.
For the Unks? Yeah, it was for the Unks, yeah. Yeah, that is true. They did a very good job of holding their ground, specifically when the Wildcard Aces ended up getting the bakery control just because of how far back the Unks were holding it. They not only threatened it with the horizontal positions, but they also had someone up top that whole entire time, just intimidating the Wildcard Aces as they tried to progress further on into the site. So now, while they do give away this control over in bakery, they still have to worry about a player swinging in from prep, but they're not exactly prepared for it. It's okay because Teddy's there for the recovery. On the upside down rappel, he not only opens the prep wall, but he also has a direct angle cutting into this so that the Unks cannot progress or aggress any further. Bakery control now confirmed they can get this wall wide open and completely tear open this site and expose it against the Unks.
Yeah, but Dead at least gets a refrag back. Zolaris also on this top floor control. I was going to say, the fact that Wildcard Aces, I'm pretty sure, have gotten the majority of these opening picks on the defending half for the Uggs, and still losing basically all of these rounds. But now they've gotten the next 2. Gonna see if they can maybe establish a little more of an advantage coming out. They will. They get another one. Teddy, a triple on the round. It's all up to Zolaris in the 1v4. A lot of his teammates have been great in the clutch in prior moments. Can he be the one this time round out? Gets a second kill for their side, but now the 1v3 in a post plant is looking very impossible, especially when he doesn't know where the plant has gone down. And Zach, who's been very impressive throughout this game, again on the board, and has given Wildcard Aces the map point and the chance to win it all.
Something that we haven't seen Wildcard Aces do when they started out on their attacks on Cafe is bring like at least 1 to 2 hard breachers. They've probably brought run in a previous round, but I don't think so because I haven't really seen much to full effect. That time around, they recognize that, hey, look, the Unks don't really like to hold on to Bakery. They just play aggressively towards prep, and they have somebody playing up top with the vertical angles, and they also have a player in coach check. But they're not exactly holding strong into Bakery. So while the Unks close all of those positions off, including just one side of the prep wall, and also that Bakery wall that leads straight into service, the Unks or Wildcard Aces say, let's bring 2 hard breachers. The Ace and Thermite run straight into Bakery, get the main wall open up a line of sight into prep so that the Unks can no longer aggress, while also applying pressure up onto the top floor. So that was a great read from the Wildcard Aces and a great adjustment to match what the Unks were doing and just exposing the weakness to their strategy.
I don't want to be mean to Spookito right now, but he has actually placed the mirror window on Freezer completely wrong.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He placed it close to the wall instead of close to the head holes. But everyone makes mistakes, and let's hope it doesn't really hurt the team outright. But he is going to be... And Zolaris, though, goes down to Schmink early on, going for spawn peaks that Wildcard Aces would have done on their own defense. And again, it does not cost well for the defenders. I'm surprised by their bomb site choice, as the last time it came down to this bomb site, it came down to that 1v3, which was clutched out by Unstoppable, but it should have never happened. So I don't know if this is the right choice. I'm surprised they haven't gone back up to that top floor bomb site, which they won. Yes, I think it was also close, but it wasn't as close as this bomb site came to be. And even so, I'm also surprised that maybe they didn't even just reattempt that kitchen bomb site. I think this could be a poor decision coming out from the Unks, but they could definitely prove me wrong in the server, take it to overtime, but that's what they're going to have to do. Unstoppable looking for anyone on this white window, looking for this aggression, maybe going for a jump out, but someone is still all the way out in spawn. It's going to be Schmink. He doesn't go for it in the end. Smart idea, trying to help out Spook in this cigar area as he's on an island all on his lonesome.
Ash is still up, so you can deal with some of these mirror windows that may threaten your progression onto the 3rd floor. Something that gave the Wildcard Aces a big issue, especially when trying to solo challenge Paquito on the 3rd floor. Now he's fully vacated off of this position. The Wildcard Aces are doing a very good job of gathering info, but being very thorough and moving together. Zach has already progressed so much and so far, and they fully gained the 3rd floor without losing a single body.
Yeah, right now they're very dominant. I feel like Spook had to drop off. I think the Grim play was what really helped them out, trying to finally figure out, you get those Grim Bees out, figure out where the mirror was, and then slowly converge onto them. And now we are going to see if they can continue going for that 4v5, getting that road control, slowing down. They just have to figure out where these players are, because there's 2 inside of Dark Spot. I'm pretty sure I can definitely stop them as they try to drop down 2 pillar. Interesting idea, making vertical control with the Silvers. And Kronk gets one dead, at least gets a refresh, but they now know exactly where he is. And it's a freebie for J-Man as he's being pinged out by that line scan. Also getting open this double wall, but Spookito again, hero in this run. It's him and Unstoppable again. And he's thrown in his smoke nade. An insane idea. And I don't think they see him. They don't. What have I just seen? Unstoppable with the biggest brain in the server. Whoa. Spook and JMN, yes, 1 each, but Spook now left in the 1v1. JMN has to plant as we're about to get down to 0-0. But Spook not going for the pick as he gets taken down, doesn't know where the plant is going down. And JMN gets the round victory despite it looking like it was completely in the Uggs' favor. And it's 7-5 victory, the closest a game can really get.
Where did he throw that nitro? Because I saw, was it close to the bomb chassis or was it close to default? Because I heard it in explosion. I thought I saw it close to the bomb chassis. Either way, yeah, crazy last round to end off on, especially for the Unks. You lose your very own map pick. And for me, I felt like they could have easily won that if they just moved around some pieces in that round, especially for like their kitchen defense. If they went right back to it, all they really had to do was bring a deployable shield, maybe bring some trap operators like they've been doing the whole entire time, and just hold on to Bakery with a lot more aggression, because the Wildcard Aces read into your plan last time. It should be easy to switch up. They don't. They go into a second floor site, and they don't really retain any of the third floor control, which is what Wildcard Aces exploit. And I don't really understand those last few seconds. I don't think I do. I don't think so. Maybe he just didn't have any intel on where he was coming from, despite Unstoppable dying to that same exact player. Either way, insane map for the Wildcard Aces to win, and they win their opponent's map pick nonetheless.
I'd have to agree. Very crazy map in the end, going back and forth, clutches going out to the end. And yeah, he just didn't seem like he had the information. C4ing the default plant instead of where the plant was actually going down. Curious to see what happened in the end. But we will be going on to a short break before map 2 of Skyscraper. But don't go anywhere, as we still have more great siege action to come to you.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same? I hope you're not planning to waste my time. To my surprise, that was her reply. Now we vibe. It's been a while and such a ride, the stars align. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I
Welcome back to Blitz. I'm here as Milo, also known as Spice62, joined with Holy ZK for Map 2. Shaka was not feeling too well, was a trooper to go through Map 1 with me until we were able to get a subcaster. But welcome, Holy. Obviously, you said you watched a little bit of Map 1. How excited are you to cast into Map 2 going out, obviously on Skyscraper?
Yeah, no, I'm actually really excited. I mean, map 1 was a great map. I mean, it was really a close nail biter in a lot of rounds. I mean, I'm proud to see Wildcard Aces on top. You know, they're definitely my pick for this map series, and I really hope they can close it out on this next map.
Good watch. And obviously, we're going to quickly go over how the series has gone throughout. Obviously, map 1 being was CAF A, and it was your team, you said, 7-5, winning out just in the end. So many clutches going out in either side, so many rounds going close. Obviously, that round ended up being that 1v1 post-plant with the final 3 seconds left on the board. But we now go on to Skyscraper, which is going to be Wildcard Aces map pick, which also means they probably will not be starting on the favorable side.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're probably not going to be starting on... I mean, me personally, I want to be able to start on the defense side of things with Skyscraper. It just feels a lot better going into a 4-2 split or a 3-3 split going into attack. I mean, you're definitely going to look for that, advantage on defense. Skyscraper, I feel, is very defense-sided still to this day in this meta.
No, I completely agree. It's very defender-sided, very hard to attack. A lot of rat angles that can be used by the defense. But it is a fun map, at least for me. We're seeing it, it's weird for me at least. I think it's coming out a lot more recently. I think it's like showing up a little bit more. I've seen it so much more recently in a lot of these best of 3s, best of 5s. It feels like teams love to go to it, or they just use it as that base mark. So I feel like, say, maybe last stage, it really wasn't used as much.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, it is definitely more of a more prominent map now. I mean, like, you see, like, we also have Nighthaven as our decider. We're getting a lot more fundamental and, like, more technical maps where you need a lot of coordination, you need a lot of certain type of utility usage, and, like, really keeping advantages to your team and trying to take away those gaps in a lot of these, like, prominent maps, and you're seeing them a lot more. And I'm also excited to start seeing Lair as well. I've noticed that to be a little bit more prominent and upcoming recently, since it did just come into the map pool.
No, I'd have to agree. What do you think that comes down to, though? Do you think it comes down to the shield changes, or do you think it comes down to the ADS changes, obviously, with the slowdown, with the more ACOGs? Is it because maybe teams can't be as aggressive early on and maybe rely less on just their mechanical aim skill, their raw gunfight ability?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it comes down to the new ADS changes and the new ACOGs coming into play and everything kind of like that. I mean, you don't see a lot of run and gun anymore. You don't see people getting in the building in the first 15, 20 seconds anymore. You see a lot more drone work play. You see a lot more utility usage. I mean, you see heavy utility operators. You can see like Grim coming out, Gridlock coming out, and Maestro coming out a lot more. And people like that really depend on their utility and, the information for their team to be able to like counteract these other coordinated teams. Because I feel like it's just a lot more coordinated now after those changes. And it's a lot less run and gun play as we saw with like the 1.5 meta.
Yeah, exactly that. I completely agree. And now we are ready to get into our game. And it's probably going to be the Unks starting on that defense. So that also means they are going to get that opening ban. Last time round out, we saw Wildcard Aces start off with that opening ban, and they chose to ban out the Monty. Could you see maybe a similar ban? Especially, I feel like Monty is not surprising to be banned. I feel like normally it is that Monty and that Ying being banned out from the attackers. So at least that's my guess for the bans.
Yeah, no, definitely. I could 100% see a Monty ban out here, especially on Skyscraper. I mean, it gives you a lot of advantages, whether it's taking top black stairs, pushing an office over. It gives you a lot of map space, and I mean, playing against a shield really sucks.
Completely agree, especially in this meta. Obviously, just a reminder, I always find this as a funny fact. Ubisoft thought the shield change was going to be a nerf, very much backfired in their face, probably the most overpowered change of sorts that we've seen in recent times. I can't really think of another change that's really made an operator as overpowered. I would say Azami at the release was close to it, but I wouldn't say that isn't a change though, that's more of just a new operator coming out. But yep, you see there the Ying, the Monty, and I'm going to guess probably Azami, maybe Valk as well, coming out for the defending bans.
Yeah, no, that was actually like a perfect guess, honestly. I'm happy you got both. And the third now, too. I mean, hopefully you get the fourth and get the Azami as well off the board and just get all the map. I mean, bans right.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I don't normally do that. A team always throws me off. Once I guess, like, the same ones I did today. And there you go. I tell you, teams always throw me off with an out there ban.
Yeah.
Warden is very strange, but I've seen it before, and I've seen it before in Pro League. It was Team Secret who banned it out against BDS, and then on their attacks, they did the most cheese stuff you could ever do. They threw out the Blitz, the Ying, the Lion, every single round, and there is nothing you can do as a defender to stop that. The only thing is, Ying is banned. So we're not going to see Ying. You could see the Blitz, you could see the Glass, you could just see maybe even a Striker bring 3 flashbangs and 2 smokes. I feel like we're going to see a lot of throwable plays coming out for the side of Unks and Wildcard Aces drawing on their attacks to abuse the Warden ban.
Yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree. Like, that is definitely something that we should look for. And I think another thing we should look for is rushes. I mean, like Amaru's smoke plant rushes or Capitao burn, and be able to use those smokes to your advantage and be able to cut off those entry points to get a plant down fast. And it really surprised me to see the Ying and Warden ban from the same exact team, you know. Not really, you're already getting the Ying off the board, so why are we banning the Warden kind of thing? But I mean, it's not an uncommon ban, definitely not the most prominent thing you will see though, especially for Skyscraper in my opinion.
I mean, Skyscraper is always that just hard nut to take apart, find out how to crack open and how to get an advantage on. So maybe that's the idea coming out for the side of the Uggs, but that we won't see that up until the 7th round. But Schmink gets the opening pick onto Unstoppable, and correct me if I'm wrong, the last time we casted a map together, it was Wildcard Aces, it was Skyscraper, and I'm pretty sure they won something like 7-0 or 7-1 with so many opening picks and so much dominance on their attacks. It could be something similar right now. I would say they are playing a stronger team, a better team, so hopefully Unks can maybe start off a little bit stronger, nearly taking out Teddy as he tries to find that player, tries to find the bandit on that single breach. Not going to do so, but the Wildcard Aces, they do still have this man advantage, and it is Skyscraper though, so you can still win a round out just by playing rat positions and heavy power positions.
Oh yeah.
Gonna see if they can close it out.
Yeah, hopefully they can. I mean, even if you're in a disadvantage like this, you have one down on a man advantage. You just gotta be able to play those rat spots. And I mean, we see the normal office over. Get the Geisha presence, get the wall open on Geisha. I mean, they did clear out one of the guys over on the, the office side extension, and it looks like Demi's gonna be able to get this kill on Gronk. Dead is also gonna get the kill on Schmeek. So they brought the advantage back. I mean, hey, this is what we were just talking about. Play those rat positions, play those areas that you don't have the information for, and, they got their picks back. They're in the advantage now, especially with also Teddy being down to 30 HP.
Yeah, despite obviously getting that early pick so quick as well, and it being a man who is unstoppable on map 1, and the Legion as well, obviously getting those goo mines over time, being able to figure out where the attackers are coming from, but they've been able to get all these picks coming back in quick and flow forwards, and Zolara's obviously getting those 2 picks on the Azami as well, and I'm surprised he wasn't banned out, but Zach getting his first pick of the game, which was the top frag in last game, 20-something kills in the end. Could be wrong, but it was something up in those numbers. But now he's left in this 1v3, no diffuser in hand, 30 seconds or so left. It's looking very impossible for him to get this out.
Yeah, no, it's looking in a bad scenario. You know, we got 15 seconds left. He's taking shots from Geisha's side, but hey, he was the top frag last game for a reason. He could be able to pull something, but Zolaris closes out with his nice little 3K. You know, he held his spot perfectly with the Azami, held K's perfectly, waited for the swing, and Zach couldn't just close it out.
Yeah, good attempt in the end. Beautiful lure coming out to try and get through into that black top area, but nothing coming out in the end, which, to be fair, Wildcard Aces, they're not going to be looking down and being like, oh damn, we lost the primary bomb site on Skyscraper. They probably won't be thinking that. They'll look at the positives, look about what they can adapt in the next time out, maybe attacking that bomb site. Most of the time, teams will just be like, okay, next. Wait until Kitchen comes around, wait until their tertiary bomb site comes around. That's the bomb site they'll be eyeing up to look to take, and especially with the fact is they have just attacked into Karaoke and Tea, which is the main area you again attack into that Kitchen bomb site. They'll probably be looking into the future each one of these rounds to see how they can adapt into that tertiary bomb site to try and take that round at least.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, they definitely can't chalk their mentals after one round. I mean, I see a lot of teams do it where they're one and done. You know, they lose the round, and some people are already typing GGs. But Wildcard Aces is not that kind of team. We have seen them play Skyscraper, and we've seen them go 7-1 on it. And not only was it a beautiful map, but they played it perfectly. So who knows? It could still be a possibility to run the 7-1 back again.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard. A little dong shot to, oh sorry, gong shot to give themselves some luck, give themselves some hype up, and now we're going to see if they can start, and again with an over. You said last round they went for that office over, and instead of a direct again, they're going to be going for another over. This time from that Karaoke and Tea. Look at this, Zach again on his usual luck, being able to get up and not get the kill, whiffing shots, and the SMG-12 just not able to pull down hard enough. Unstoppable at least does go down. Can he be picked up? Kronk looking to maybe get a double here. He doesn't know how close they are though. He could have definitely gotten one there.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's an unfortunate spray from Zach right there. But I mean, I loved the gap hit. Like, I loved how he took that space. And yeah, we do see this over again, but it doesn't look to be in their favor. I mean, J Money pulling out a kill on the Zolaris on the office balcony, and another great shot by Ed. Against Ed.
Hemi at least gets one back as J Money, you said his name, and he's starting to pop off in the server. Nasty 2 kills on that Demo's pistol, but Demi at least gets that reinforced ball down, and Kronk tries to go for a lurk of his own, but a little bit too eager. Spokato still in this top shrine area. No one is actually pushing him out. Those the last 2 players are looking to jump into this window. J Money, Demi, and Unstoppable all around that 20 HP bug. Very close to death in the end. It's more about if now the Unks can establish this 3-2 lead.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're definitely going to look to not give a pick here. You have a minute left on the board. You're a man up. You have 2 people really low. You know the Deimos is going to be tagged at least, but still, like, you can't give these picks away because they're going to play into that. And I honestly think Wildcard needs to start slowing down a little bit. You know, I like how they're grabbing the information right now of where everyone's at. A few people, they know where everyone's at. They've seen all 3 of them. So I'm wondering if they're just going to send it and jump in off this nade kind of thing, because they do have to make this guy move so they can jump in. Schmeek goes in.
Yeah, they get some control, but Unstoppable getting that pick instead. Wonderful for him. And the final pick also coming to Unstoppable. 2K in the round. They get both their primary and secondary bomb sites, but again, this is Skyscraper. Those rounds did come close. J Money able to eventually get it back into the favor of Wildcard Aces, so close to maybe winning out the round. So I feel like Wildcard Aces, they can take positives away from those rounds. Even though they lost it, they can come across from being like, okay, this is the type of map this is. We're going to be completely destroyed on our defenses, but they haven't been. They've been able to get it down to 3v3s, 2v2s.
Yep.
Or at least 3v3s, never 2v2, but they've gotten it close, they've been able to get some type of advantage. I was wrong, by the way. It will not be that kitchen bomb site. We're going to see the bathroom and master bedroom. I don't see this come out very often. I know you're a comp player of your own. Tell me how you would normally set up and play this site.
How I set it up defense-wise is I do send pretty heavy up-top presence, like kind of how they're doing with the Mira, the Bandit, you know, kind of keep that up-top presence because this is such a vertical site. You can get vert on almost every single area in this site. So you not only do you not really want people playing inside, you kind of want like one person floating in that bathroom area holding those feet holes for delivery so they can't do a rush. Because, I mean, even when I attack this site, I rush delivery. I'm not gonna lie. I rush delivery because I'm like, dude, you have 4 people up top. I'm just gonna kill this one guy and we're gonna hold your guys' flanks. So that's something I would love to see to come out from Wildcard. It does look like they're gonna try and take the vert control and, you know, try and get those few picks. And Kron coming out with a beautiful first kill against the castle. I don't even know where he got that from.
Questionable pick coming for Wildcard Aces, but now on the tertiary site for the Uggs, it's looking like the Wildcard Aces have a lot more confidence coming out, and they've got so much of this map control, but like you said, they need for this vertical control, and it's looking like it may just be a direct towards site. We haven't seen one of these coming out so far, and they've pushed in quick and fast into this bottom lobby area. Demi gets a double with the C4! Kronk doesn't even care to stop and maybe try to run away for his life. He's able to just completely shut down the attack from Wildcard Aces instantly. J Money also taking a lot of damage. He's deep inside the bathroom, doesn't know how close Demi is, and Demi's with the triple! But Teddy has also got himself deep into sight, but the Diffuser is being held.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely called it wrong. I thought they were going to go for a vert take. It looked like they were setting it up, but they went for the horizontal. It's definitely a questionable horizontal. I mean, going through Mudroom like that, you have a 1 point of entry plus the bathroom window. Like, it's such an easy thing to hold, and as you can see, now they're holding it. Zach gets one on his Olaris, now looking, and then the vert player Unstoppable kills him. They're still holding this case.
Yeah, it is possible, though. Teddy able to get the diffuser. No, not just about missing the disarming. The Kiba comes out, but Teddy does get it, though. He actually was able to just grab it just before that disarm barricade came out. The defuse is now going to start slowly going down. We base it, waiting maybe for this hack drop, but it's not going to come. The Unks playing this smart, knows what Teddy wants. He needs that pick before maybe sticking that part. Schmink, though, trying to get in the heads. They know at least where one player is, and he is now going to start getting that plant down. But again, he fakes it. One tick, fakes, waits for maybe any aggression inside the site. They've got yellow pings on one of players on bottom house, and Teddy will be looking for this pick because that is an isolated freebie for him, as now he's going to walk around, look for that bandit. Could he pre-fire? He knows where he is. The ping comes out, but the army has dropped as well. Comes down with him. But a freebie. No! Spookito still gets it. Teddy goes down. The HP difference is what gets him the kill. And the Uggs win 3 in a row. 3 on the bounce. And now sitting to go back through their site rotation.
Yeah, they're going a full cycle. And I mean, I hope Wildcard changes something up here. I mean, going 3 down like this, it's not terrible. You usually want to use your first few rounds as kind of like, okay, how are they going to play this differently from how they played Cafe kind of thing. And I mean, I think hopefully they got their ideas in their head, they figured out their attacks, and maybe are going for more of a direct take or an isolation take, and, you know, looking to cut off these guys on their extensions, and, you know, really look for like a geisha direct, a top black direct, a karaoke plant kind of thing for this next T fight.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I agree with you. So it is a feeling out process in these early rounds. I'm not surprised, but in the last map, at least for Cafe, the Unks actually went all 4 bomb sites. So I won't be surprised maybe if on their tertiary site this time round out, they may try out that kitchen bomb site instead of that house one. As to be fair, it came close. Despite the Wildcard Aces looking for that questionable play of just completely ignoring that top floor and going for a mudroom-esque rush, obviously, it still came close.
Yeah, no, it still came really close. I mean, you never know what's in store with these games. I mean, honestly, but I mean, Wildcard isn't looking the best. I think they're more, worried about typing and not really getting their picks and getting inside the building. I mean, we do see them get their initial entry picks, but we don't really see them doing much with it. They get a little too antsy, they get a little bit too fast, and they start doing things without misinformation.
Near pick coming out for J Money as Spookito runs across that black balk door. The thing is, I wouldn't say this is do or die yet, because obviously the favourable half for an attacker is 4-2, but the quota half of the attacker, what you're looking to get is 5-1, as Kronk and Zach get the first 2 opening picks on the board. That's Dead and Unstoppable going down very early. Unstoppable went down twice early on this side. Obviously, it was the first pick last time around, but Dead this time also going out is not having an impact on this game as he might like to have. 1 of 3, and they get this control very early on. Spookito at least gets one back, but another pick, Zolaris going down. That's the Azami, a power play operator that was used very strong last time defenders round out, especially with Zolaris getting that 3k. That's all up to Demi and Spookito. Spookito having a very good impact in clutches last time round out, but goes down to Kronk, all left up to Demi in a 1v4, looking like it's going to be impossible, and it is, as J Money gets the final pick.
See, and that's what we like to see out of Wildcard Aces. That's something they do all the time, and we love to see from them because we know they can do it. They took their time, they got the information, they got their entry picks, they doubled up, they followed closely with each other, they weren't going too fast or too far ahead where they couldn't be refraggable, and they brought it down to a 4v1. I mean, a 4v1 situation attacking in a skyscraper is basically the round. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen people clutch 1v4s and whatnot, but the way they were all positioned, Kronk and Zach right next to each other in that drum area, J Money jumping in with, I'm pretty sure it was Schmink up there in Shrine, like they were doubled up. They were all right next to each other. They're not going to give this guy once.
Exactly that, yeah. They're able to double up, get those final picks on the board. Early aggression, though, coming up from Wildcard. It looked like they took the ground very quickly for free. It didn't look like maybe the Unks had maybe a setup this time round out. I'm curious to see how Unstoppable died early in both those rounds, especially on the Legion, as that's the kind of information and slowdown you'd want to have in that push, especially with how quick Wildcard Aces just like to play using that tempo to their advantage. I'm going to see more of this extended push coming out, and it's perfect actually, as Wildcard Aces, they look more likely to do another over. It didn't work out for them last time. They went for this early aggression, this early lurk from Zach Killer. He was able to get at least one. He didn't get one actually. He downed one, then got traded in the same instance of downing that player, but it's like he's going to have more of a help this time round out. 4 players with him as they're just trying to take this out. There is going to be someone to slow them down. It looks like it's going to be Unstoppable on the Azami all the way inside a barbecue.
Yeah, no, they're definitely slowing it down a lot more, but like at the same time, you see them, like they definitely have these cutoff drones set up. Initial pick goes to Solaris, quick jump in from Schmink, I guess, into Shrine here, was just saying about how they're slowing it down and then jumps into Shrine. But they have these cutoff drones, they're waiting for that map space that they know is free, and then the second they're contested, they're re-droning. And a beautiful shot from Zach onto the guy at drum, takes some damage from him.
Ooh, but it's taken back because that damage made it to be easier for them to just instantly pre-fireball through the wall. Yes, he can be picked up here though. J Money able to definitely do it, and Teddy getting the throw, but no! Unstoppable! He was never contested downstairs in barbecue, able to get the flank up, finish up the pick of Zach, who was down on the floor, and fully take out J Money, getting that man count back into the favor for the Unks, and now they're looking to maybe fully establish this out. The only problem is right now for the Unks, sight is a little bit weak. It is only a 2v2 on site, with Teddy knowing exactly where Zolaris is behind that minibar area.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a beautiful flank coming out from Unstoppable right there, but they definitely got to start looking towards for this gap, and they're going to try and find it, and it looks like they're maybe going to double up on VIP, try and, kill a guy top VIP stairs and swing this guy minibar at the same time is what my best idea would be to, 50 seconds on the board. You guys do have some health on you. However, we see shots coming from minibar.
Neither landing from either side though, up until Teddy gets to pick onto the guy minibar, maybe overextending, maybe gets the second one. No, Unstoppable finishes off Kronk, being that star player in this round so far out. 3k for him, well 2k, 3k if you count the person down, nearly getting Teddy as well, but Teddy hitting shots onto both of them, maybe having a chance to kill both at least at one point, just not being clinical enough. Now looking for the first fight onto his army, takes him. Now will he find the Cade? Doesn't know how close the Cade is, and Dead finishes him off right behind the little area, sadly enough not being able to look down far enough to see him as the sight was just obscured, and the Uggs squeezed their way through that round.
Wow, that was a great round from both the teams. I mean, Unstoppable getting a little bit antsy, starting to quick peek Teddy. I mean, maybe trying to waste time, but you gotta remember, AK-12 is probably one of the best guns in the game. And with the HP he was at and the HP they were at, that's a very winnable round. It just sucks that he did not have any information on that Cade, because the last he saw, he was in office. So, I mean, any person's going to assume office rotate or split area, that's probably why he jumped on the case, just trying to look for that initial, he's holding split door kind of thing, going to make him go for a plant. But no, Dead was playing up close, and I mean, he played that perfectly. He didn't make any noises. He didn't contest the swing to Unstoppable, which he could have, and could have ended the round a lot earlier, because Teddy was definitely dialed in and slowly walking up on Unstoppable and kind of more
10 seconds to insertion.
tunnel vision, sorry.
Camera ready to activate.
I do like the adaptation though coming out for the Unks for this round. The Fenrir coming out. Obviously the last time round out, Wildcard Aces took Office, took Shrine, took Drum very quickly, and obviously took down Unstoppable, took out Dead very early on in that round out. With the Fenrir coming out, it's going to obscure their vision, slow them down. Not only that, but also give information for the Unks on where they're coming from. But the speed has been ramped up to the fullest as Schmick is on the Blitz. First time we're seeing him, but Demi and Zolaris gets the pick. They had no idea the pulse was below. Also interesting, I'm Dead guessing another one, so interesting enough, Zolaris is also on pulse shotgun.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say something about that. Wow, a beautiful shot from Dead to another double kill. This is, I mean, not a losable round, not a winnable round though.
Kronk leaving the round, probably going to need a little bit of a pause after this. J Money in this 1v5 looking impossible, especially on these defense. He at least gets one. Zolaris goes down. 2 minutes left on the board. He has the time, he has the gun, he has the utility, he has drones. He doesn't really have enough of it. Obviously, those key barriers going to keep being replenished. 2 nades for, what, about 6 or 5 keybers that his army has it overall. Still got the Fenrir mines out that he'll have to find out where they are. Obviously, he's on the IQ, so he can figure it out, nade the doorways. But that's a nade you've lost to maybe deal with a Kiba. The Goyo fires away 20 seconds each. The mute jammers obviously stops you from droning. And there's the first one. So it's going to be a lot of time waste as he's already lost 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, as an attacking team and you're 4-1, you're praying for a 4-2 going into your defenses. You're praying for that extra round. It doesn't look like it might happen, but I'm never gonna doubt J Money. I love my boy J Money. Bro does not know me at all, but he's nasty at this game, honestly. And we see a few shots getting taken away from the Goyo and the IQ. Trading some, not really landing any. And, I mean, Unks are still playing this really good, though. They're playing it not super aggressive, not super doing anything way out of line where they're just sprinting at him, because they do know it is a winnable round for J Money. He had plenty of time. Time is ticking down, though. He's about 45 seconds left on the round. Still a 4v1. It's going to be a I thought he naded himself for a second there. I was going to start laughing. Sorry.
Schmink trolling a little bit in chat, saying that Unstoppable is blatantly cheating. I don't think he is. He's also not playing Cade Shotty, so don't know about that one. And Dead gets the final pick on the round. We're going to be needing a slight pause, obviously, to welcome Kronk back in the game. Thought he had a bug like FPS or something. Hopefully, he can join back into the lobby, because, you know, we've had a lot of that recently where you can't join back. We're going to have to rehost. But, you know, prayers out. A dominant display, though, from the Unks on their defense. There's only one little blimp, but Siege, game of two halves, can Wildcard Aces be just as dominant on their attacks, or even more dominant on their defenses?
Yeah, no, I mean, they really got to do something with these defenses. Hopefully they can bring it back and, you know, close it out 2-0 for this set of matches. But, I mean, 5-1, going in your defenses, not a losable game right now. And it is still defender-sided, but Unks have just been playing better Siege. I feel like Wildcard is getting a little too aggressive, getting a little too overzealous right now, and they're just giving up way too many picks.
I have to agree, yeah. The early rounds seem to be helping out Wildcard Aces quite a lot. You see picks coming back and forth. You see the picks mainly going actually early on into the favor of Wildcard Aces. They've gotten a lot of opening picks. We saw this as well on Cafe, actually. Wildcard Aces are able to get opening picks, but it seems like the Unks are just able to battle it back, battle it forth, and I like that last round in particular. They knew the Wildcard Aces, they wanted to be going for the early aggression and early advantage, so they had a guy below waiting exactly for when the Blitz would run up the stairs, or wait for anyone to just run up those stairs, gets a free pick in the end, and then they spiral on, get a 5v1 in the end. Zakula only needed able to get 1-2 for his troubles. But now we're seeing how Wildcard Aces can get themselves out of this rut they're in. I was going to say they only need 6 rounds to win. It's only, you know, it's still going to be hard, but we'll see if they can do it.
So we're actually getting called that we're going to go to a rehost. So I'm going to send us over to a quick little 5-minute break while we get everyone back into the lobby and, you know, continue this matchup.
You know you left me lonely, I could tell them the whole story. It may take a couple hours, I've got time, let's get to chat. How could I explain the situation? Man, it's so damn complicated. Where do I start, where do I end? I should go back to bed, I'm going back to all the basics. Teaching myself now how to erase it. It's like learning a whole new language, and I'm afraid, too scared to face it. I just want consistent clarity, but all my thoughts destroying me. Some peace of mind is all I need to give peace to all of my family. I can't go back to you, my friend. Don't even ask, don't play pretend. You think you are everything I need, but I gotta leave. Try but can't get through to me. It's not you, yeah, it's always me. I close my heart to you, you see it opens up for nobody. It's been so hard to fall asleep. The weather always makes my nose bleed, makes my nose bleed. It's so hard to believe that one day I'll feel peace. I want control over my life, I want that driver's seat. Yeah, it's not you that I need. You push me down when I'm weak. You were never there for me. Go pick up your keys and leave. I can't go back to you, my friend. Can't go back to you, my friend. Don't even ask, don't play pretend. Cause you think you are everything I need, but I gotta leave.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the monsoon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mess me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Hold on.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same? I hope you're not planning to waste my time. To my surprise, that was her reply. Now we vibe. It's been a while and such a ride, the stars align. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She my do or die, my bona fide. My up when I'm down, she's always beside me. She makes me feel alive, I won't deny. Her love for me is real and kinda suicide-y. She's not the same, she's such a rare type. She's far from plain, at least in my eyes. She said if I cross her, I'll be in the grave or under attack, but yeah, that's still my bae. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role.
And we're back into the game, back for the defender half for Wildcard, and now we're going to see if they can be just as dominant or even more to win out the game, because obviously the Unks came away with their 5-1 split, your normal split for Skyscraper, just not getting out on that fully on 6-0 half. Wildcard, they have to be near damn perfect on their defenses to make sure they can come away with a 2-0 win and the full 3 points.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, no, wildcard aces need to dial in. You know, they need to lock in. They need to do what they do best and win these rounds. I mean, this is very disappointing, but I mean, I can't really say anything. You know, if I played against wildcard aces, I'd be down 5-1 probably right now. But I mean, hopefully they have some adaptations. Hopefully they took this break and, you know, really took it in to kind of gather themselves for a second. And, you know, hopefully we can see maybe a 7-5 again, or maybe a double OT. Who knows?
Obviously, you're not kept up onto the current scheme of things in terms of their conferences, but I'll get you a little bit up to speed.
5 seconds.
Wildcard Aces, they are currently second in their conference, just behind Fluffy Aimers. Obviously, well, I say just, they're 4 points behind Fluffy Aimers, but being 3 points above of Outlast Black. Obviously, 2 teams go across conferences. This is currently a cross-conference game. We're going to see where, obviously, the Unks are in the conference with Envy and Floattech. They are 5 points behind Floattech and 7 points behind Envy, who sit at the top. They have a very hard group in ahead of them. I'm pretty sure Floattech obviously recently got picked up actually by TSG and now TSG Gold. So this is for me at least, this is a must-win game for the Unks to start getting some points on the board to give them a chance of playoffs.
No, definitely, I agree. I mean, thank you for catching me up to speed with all of that, because I definitely, you know, came into this a little bit blind. But, I mean, I'm happy to be here. This is a fun match to be casting, and the Unks do definitely have a lot on the line, and they're playing like it, honestly. I mean, I also love, just gotta mention this right now, since they did ban the Warden, love that the Blitz is coming out. We only saw it one time out of that entire last half. And now that we're seeing it, I hope it's going to be more prominent. But, like, this is what I was talking about. They're looking for these isolations. They're looking for these smoke plays. And, like, you were also talking about it with the throwables and whatnot. They're looking to play against that this Warden cannot stop them. They have a sense, which you don't really see prominently. They're trying to take top black control. They have the black control. They're looking for maybe a repel into purple window. And then send this Blitz in through Shrine to, you know, take attention off these T guys and, you know, really get in their face.
Yeah, you never see a Sense pick being viable. Saying Sense, hey Sense, guys, Sense is bubble, but the flank comes out, he was always in there. Teddy, deep inside of Karaoke, and you had no idea he was there. How has this been able to go through? Honestly, I loved that push from the Unks, but it could still actually come out to their favor. Unstoppable gets another Solaris with 1-2, and Blitz still in the background, ready to make a splash, take out these players. Is able to take one out before the C4 comes out, but JMN gets one, gets 2 as well, all left up to Unstoppable on the glass to try and take him out, not being able to do so as he finishes off Zolaris. He's able to lurk through. Does he know how deep the glass has gone? He does now, waiting for the opportunity to swing out. 30 seconds left on the clock. Unstoppable could easily actually reset and maybe go for a plant here. And let's look at what he's going to be doing. So deep inside of Karaoke now.
Attackers
Not having the diffuser though in hand. Finally picks it up, and there they go. The diffuser starts to go down. Jay and Money Or JMN, no idea, is
Attackers
currently
activating
going
the bomb
down.
diffuser.
Plant does go down. I mean, you have some shots getting traded. No damage on either one. Oof. Glass tanks a few shots from there. And Unstoppable closes it out. That's the scary thing about going against a Glass. He's 9 HP, and guess what? Shoots him twice in the chest and he's dead because that gun is so OP. And hey, he's running the Priest charm. That's a beautiful charm. Love that man. Love that streamer. And we go into a 6-1 now for the Unks. That was actually a really beautiful attack, and like they really played into it. Looks like we're gonna be getting another pause here.
We play. Is this Wildcard Aces? Is this Wildcard Aces or is this M80? Little joke there. Obviously, losing around goes instantly to a tech pause. But yeah, I wanted to see more of that coming out from Wildcard Aces. You see the Warden banned out, so you bring as much cheese as you can. Sense coming out, you never really see Sense and think, what a great pick. Sense, he's a great operator, guys. Generally, though, what a great pick. It does come fumbling down. They had no idea Teddy was stealing karaoke. I think that was their one little miss drone or miss like play.
Yeah.
But I think overall, beautiful picks coming out. BLITZ came into impact. Glass came into impact. Sense had a little bit of impact. All those operators had impact because Warden was off the board. And I think that's why the Unks banned out Warden and they're using their cheese to the fullest. 6-1 up. Now we're going to have to see 5 in a row if Wildcard Aces not even wants to win it, but to take it to overtime.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with how they attacked that situation. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me that Wildcard Aces, gets that initial 2 picks sitting in that corner. I mean, it was a beautiful play from Teddy, I believe it was, and they were still able to salvage the round. I mean, they still had the Blitz on the board, which is a really huge operator. We know that. We know the shield buff is insane. It's not a nerf. No one says it's a nerf because it's not. Blitz shields are OP, and at this rate, I want to see it more. I want to see these ISOs. I want to see these fast plants. I want to see this aggressiveness coming out from the Unks because I honestly didn't really see it that much in the last match when I was watching them play out. They seemed a lot more passive. They seemed a lot more careful about the gunfights they took. But now they're kind of getting in there. They're getting in their faces, and they're really taking the gunfights to them, which I think is how you do stop an aggressive team like Wildcard Aces. You have to be able to match that aggression and do better than what they're doing.
I completely agree, and currently, actually, we are getting a contest right now. It is Wildcard Aces trying to contest a illegal skin going on. I don't know if it will be successful. I didn't really catch a glimpse. I don't know what skin is going to be being contested, so this may take a little bit of time. We're not going to a break just at the moment, because I don't think it should take that long. All we have to do is, check up the footage, be like, okay, which operator was it? Check it, done. Not really, doesn't matter in the end. But at the moment, we're going to be just speaking here, talking about the rounds for out. And yeah, do you think Wildcard Aces can do it? Do you think they can go 5 rounds on the bounce?
I think they could, honestly, but at this point in time, I mean, as coming from a coach standpoint or an IGL standpoint, you obviously want to keep your head in the game and you want to you really focus on the map at hand. But I think honestly at this rate, maybe just give them this map. It's 6-1. And then really just lock in for that end Nighthaven map, take it to the 3rd map, and really dial in, make sure everything is correct and you guys are playing properly for the next map. Because it is 6-1. I mean, you are on defenses, but you have to win the next 5 rounds perfectly and play it perfectly. And we just have not seen that come out from Wildcard Aces recently. They're making a lot of mistakes. They're giving a lot of picks back. And it's just not really looking like they're playing Siege at this point.
Obviously, a 2-1 victory for either team means a maximum of 2 points on the board. Only negative if Wildcard Aces do have to be put onto that map 3 is they lose the momentum going through. But sadly, I was wrong. I prayed that we didn't have to do this, but we are going to another tech pause. Don't go anywhere, though. We still have great siege action to come. This hopefully won't take too long either.
Try to hurt me and that's so low. When I talk to you about it, you're in defense mode. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. How can we work on ourselves when you say no? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'll never go on like this, so don't you think you got me up yet? I can't seem to deal with this. You try so hard to pull me in.
got me hooked up. Well, she pulling me in like a black hole, trapped in a grip and I can't break. Out of control and I can't feel my soul and my heart and my damn face. Cause I ain't be nothing without her. A king with no queen and no damn kingdom. Serving up hate with a cold vengeance. Fuck but I hate it, we can't slay them. Yeah, she's got me hooked, I'm down, I ride. Leaving, she tried to kill me, I can see it in her eyes. Yeah, she's got me shook, this my demise. I'm bleeding, can someone heal me? I can't deal with no more lies.
I'll never go on like this, so don't you think you got me up? Yeah, I can't seem to deal with this. You try so hard to pull me on me. I'll never go on like this, so don't you think you got me hooked? Yeah, I can't seem to deal with this. You try so hard to pull me in. I took a couple L's this week, it's been hard to get out of bed. She never looked that way at me, I swear she's fucking with my head. I took a couple L's this week, it's been hard to get out of bed. She never looked that way at me, I swear she's fucking with my head. Take me far away from pain. Take me far away, far from yesterday. This ain't a love story, it's a funeral. Darling, damn, you look beautiful. You're killing my heart, it's the usual. Killing my heart, it's the usual. All you do is waste my time. Done being a victim of your phony love. All you do is waste my time. All your hypocrisy is killing me. All you do is waste my time. Done being a victim of your phony love. I'm not looking for a love story anymore. 'Cause when me Romeo and Juliet were chemical. This ain't a love story, it's a funeral. Darling, damn, you look beautiful. This ain't a love story, it's a funeral. You're killing my heart, it's the usual. There's no signs of stopping now. She stares at me from the ground, like it lives with him, just trying to tear me down. In this evil game, she's proud, living in my head rent free, knowing that she's killing me, she's killing me. All you do is waste my time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All you do is waste my time, yeah. All you do is waste my time, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not looking for a love story anymore. 'Cause when me Romeo and Juliet were chemical. This ain't a love story, it's a funeral. Darling, damn, you look beautiful. This ain't a love story, it's a funeral. You're killing my heart, it's the usual.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same? I hope you're not planning to waste my time. To my surprise, that was her reply. Now we vibe. It's been a while and such a ride, the stars align. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She my do or die, my bona fide. My up when I'm down, she's always beside me. She makes me feel alive, I won't deny. Her love for me is real and kinda suicide-y. She's not the same, she's such a rare type. She's far from plain, at least in my eyes. She said if I cross her, I'll be in the grave or under attack, but yeah, that's still my babe. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. Getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role.
We are back into the game. Obviously, Wildcard Aces losing that last round out, but they did not in the end. It was a protest, a skin protest that went successfully into their favor. 5-2 for the favor now of the UGs, still having that opportunity to close it out here. But now Wildcard Aces, they have a little bit more of a leeway. They don't have to be perfect for 5 rounds in a row. They only have to be perfect for 4 to take it to overtime, 5 if they want to win it fully all. I am surprised though. The only thing I will be saying is I am a little bit surprised in seeing that it did instantly result into a round victory instead of a warning. I'm not admin here. That was their decision, and I'm not saying it was the wrong decision, just not my decision.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's definitely a situation you don't want to see happen. You don't want to, have to make that call kind of thing. And it's also unfortunate for Wildcard that, like, the fact that one of their 2 rounds they've won has been due to a protest. I mean, they've really, they gotta kind of figure it out for this map. And I don't know whether they're kind of waiting to, just say, hey, let's play next map, or if they are really fully still trying to, secure this map and just win a 2-0 set.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
They definitely could win it back, especially now seeing how they got that round back. It will also deflate the UGs, I feel like. They felt like they've just done all the work to win that round back out and then have it taken from under them because of just a skin. Zolaris back on the grid. Look, let's hope he changed his uniform this round out so they won't have to go through the same ordeal again. But what I'm looking at the side of the UGs, it's cheese again. They're looking for a second helpful of that cheddar. And now we're going to see how the Glaz, the Amaru will favor into a plan. I'm going to guess they're going to be going up the hatch for the plan. Yeah.
Yep. I see it too. And like, this is what I said when we were talking about that Warden ban. The Amaru quick plants, the Capitao, cut off those entries, smoke off those entries. You have a Glaz combating them. You have a Blitz taking away attention from the planter. I mean, this is a setup to rush. Like, they are still running heavy utility people, but in favor for that Warden being banned.
Spookato looking for this early aggression into test, but Zolaris goes down. The skin doesn't matter at the end as he's the first pick. Nearly another as Demi does go down actually in the end. Zach Killer taking him out, and Wildcard Aces, they're looking strong in this round. The only thing that's left on the board, the Glaz, the Blitz, and the Amaru, most of the cheese left alive for them to maybe still establish a round victory here. But they're up against it. 5v3 in the end, looking for the pick onto the Bandit. Not going to find it at this current moment in time. A lot of gunfire on him as a run out comes out from the main breach. Teddy takes him out, and now it's all up to Unstoppable and Dead. Never mind, Dead is a dead man walking, as the 5 left players of Wildcard Aces will soon enough figure out where he is and converge on him.
Sorry, the way he looked at that barbed wire was just perfect for his situation he is in, and a beautiful shot coming around from Schmink off to get that final kill and secure the round.
Now a Moss check. I think it's a joke Moss check, and it's actually going to come out. None of the players are cheating from what we know of. I mean, they're not. But they're all known in the T2 to T3 space, top players, especially Teddy, who was one of the impact in that last round out, obviously most recently qualifying for Element 3 and bringing a pug stack of the team called Bello all the way through in major quals, beating out a top team like Fluffy Aimers in that, surprisingly not having the same impact with this roster as he had with that. Maybe a couple more rebuilds, just not figuring out the balance. We're going to see though if they can continue their march on out in this game, not picking the same tertiary bomb site as the UGs did. We will finally see the kitchen bomb site. Not often do you see every site played 2 maps in a row.
No, it's very not often. Also, they're technically before insertion right now because they technically won
5 seconds to insertion.
And it does still
Attackers are heading
in favor of that Glaz and like the smokes. I mean, I don't really see any of those smokes on the board, but they're going to play in that favor of the Glaz, and they are still running the heavy utility. They have a few shots getting traded from Unstoppable and Kronk. No damage taken to anyone. Pretty aggressive coming out from the Doc, especially a viable operator. Because last round we saw Doc was able to get 2 of his people right straight back up to full HP. Like it was nothing.
Schmink going down, looking through that Maverick hole, looking for the early aggression onto the Maverick, but great cover being held by Demi. He has been a great player throughout these 2 rounds, being able to hold up his teammates, but there is going to be another player inside of Geishi, and it will be Teddy, that top player from that last round, looking to maybe aggress, but the drone comes out. They know their game, they know he's in there as shots fly out, taking down to at least 110 HP, but being that free armor, he can tank a couple of shots. They have full control though now of Geisha having to give it up. We're going to see an Osa pick, which I particularly do not like Osa. I think she is a very weak operator in the current game of Siege. I think she had one of the lowest impacted rounds in all of T1 Siege last stage, coming out from Jesse's stat sheet. And a free pick from Dead! He wallbangs the terraced window and shoots the player inside of Drum.
Yeah, no, that was very blessed. Very blessed. I will agree with Mr. JMN. And a beautiful trade, wow. And then Teddy gets another one. Does it look like they're going for execute though? I hear some smokes going out, but they still have another amazing shot by Teddy. And the last 2 on top black, it's an easy 2v2 for these guys, you know. Kind of have the health advantage until now.
I was going to say, Teddy did beautifully there, not only to get a 2k, but he dropped Diffuser. I'm pretty sure Diffuser has now been dropped inside of Karaoke. That was the player repelling him, maybe just forgetting that Teddy still was on that top floor. Maybe they thought after they pushed him out of Geisha, he fully dropped off, but he never did. He was still up there, lurking in and around, despite all the efforts from Dead and Demi to get those opening advantages. We now sit in this 1v2. Kronk definitely has that HP advantage. Yes, they have 130 HP between them, but Kronk, he has 125 with 3 stims. He can overheal and actually be on more HP than 2 attackers. That is crazy. And he gets one. Now it's all left to the Osa, nearly taking them out, though, through the shots on the feet. 62 HP, a number I very much like as the Osa tries to push it to the site with barbed wire, giving away the game. And a wallbang from Kronk to finish off Spook. 2 insane wallbang pre-fires in this round alone. Yeah, hashtag Moss again.
2 very blessed kills from that round. And also just going back really quick to what you were talking about, the Osa. I see an Osa almost every single time I see teams attack a kitchen black walk up while you have people working the Karaoke and the Geisha, kind of like what they did on that attack. They put the shield there, they held the walk up, and I mean, hey, a beautiful cycle from Wildcard Aces here. It's getting a much closer map. It is 5-4 now. It still could possibly go either way, though. It could end 7-4. It could end 7-5 in favor of Wildcard Aces, and it could be done. The set could be done.
Yeah, it definitely could happen. Obviously, the Unks will feel a little bit hard done by, but also they'll feel a little bit more confident going into this round. They were able to win out the last time Wildcard Aces went to this site. Yes, it came down to the fact that in the end, a skim process did really take away the wind in their sails, and it's looking like that's really what's bumming them down, giving them a hard time in these upcoming rounds. I feel like last round was a fumble from them, though. They had the 2v1, not only that, they had the 4v2, but a couple of picks coming out for Teddy really just allowed him to cement the victory for Wildcard Aces, and then Kronk played that 2v1 perfectly on the dock, and we're going to see if JMN can get this early aggression. He's been quiet in these defender rounds, and he's looking to put his name on the board now.
Yeah, no, definitely. We saw a great first half from JMN. I mean, he was getting his picks. You know, he was really one of those guys that you could kind of support, that your team could support with, and he hasn't really had the best of, you know, half this time around, but I mean, he's still be able to help out his team, you know, put pressure, whether that's taking damage off of someone or using his utility properly.
Now, Demis, they've been able to get this bottom floor control quick and fast, also with that Deimos pistol, but he's taking a lot of shots from Teddy, but Teddy is taken down on that mute. The operator, he did so much work with in that last round, taking off as the first pick, an entry pick coming out for the attacking side, and a support again going in early, but he gets wallbanged by JMN. We mentioned his name, but Zolaris refrags onto the cave. That's 2 C4s down for the defenders, but JMN at least had one back just before that. The Glass also is the man that went down. A very strong pick, especially with the type of push that the Unks were trying to establish.
Yeah, definitely. We see this Glass trying to stay alive for execute almost most. I'd probably say 100% of these attack rounds. They're trying to keep him alive, trying to keep him in the back lines, and really like use him as a sniper, but also use him for this execute. So now having to go for this execute, you do have man advantage right now, but some shots getting traded off from JMN and Deimos right now on Sushi Stairs. JMN is able to get the down, knows it too.
Zach also took one down in the meantime. Spokito goes down. Zolaris also going down as well. And then it's a full collapse as Zach Killer gets the final kill on the board. The star player from map 1. And they've done it. Wildcard Aces have fully turned this game around. 5-5 on the board. 1 round away from either teams to bring it out into map point, but Wildcard Aces, they're one round away from series point, and they have the full momentum on their hands, especially with the site they get to go to, the one where they won flawlessly. Can they do it again? Can they bring it to overtime?
I want to see an overtime game. I honestly want to see this go map 3. I mean, this has been an amazing map so far, and the same with the Cafe map. The Unks have played amazingly so far. Let's just hope it's not like a 5-round curse where they can only get 5 rounds. I really want to be able to see this to go map 3 or whether a double OT as well. And, I mean, honestly, this is a completely different Wildcard Aces from the first half. And this is a completely different Unks from the first half. It doesn't really seem like they're playing aggressive anymore. It seems like they're doing a lot more passive pushes, and like, yeah, they're still doing those isolations. They're still, kind of trying to get in their face for the initial execute. But before that, they're taking their time. They're not really peeking as much, and they're not really like, taking these gunfights with Wildcard Aces like they were when they were on defense.
Whereas Wildcard Aces are doing the exact opposite. They're getting into their opponent's face, looking for this aggression. Sometimes it hasn't worked out for them. Obviously, Teddy in that last round not being able to get his pick from just peeking the hatch. And no spawn peek though this round, coming out looking like less of an overtake. Obviously, last time out they went for that overtake. Schmink still looking for that pick as well. They went for an overtake, but this time more of an ISO style take, looking for the side. Actually, last time they didn't go for an overtake. I was wrong. They did actually go for that ISO as well, but they went for more of an Amaru ISO. Went to try to go up the house, trying to get that mute gem, and not going to be able to, too close to that window frame. Good use of the IQ, but double pick!
Wow.
Teddy and JMN getting those first 2 picks. Double run out, I think, on the end of it. And that is wonderful heads-up play from Wildcard. I said they went for those early aggressions early on in the round, and they've done it again, being able to get 2 big picks. Demi and Zolaris. Dan Zolaris also not showing up in this round. Really hasn't shown up since round 7, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were right. They're getting in these kids' faces, and then Schmink is able to kill Unstoppable. I'm not sure where he got that kill. He gets a double, actually. They know where last one is. They are in a 5v1, but I just hope they don't get too overzealous. Dead gets the first pick on the Zach Killer. It's still a 4v1, a double kill now. They're getting overzealous. They are definitely peaking a lot more than they should be, and they don't have that discipline kind of like the Unks right now. And it goes into a triple.
Dead on the 3K, making it into the realm of possibility, as it's only Schmink and Teddy, or Kronk, that stands in his way. Obviously, it's still going to be a hard task. You're still in the man disadvantage. You still really don't have as much information. You don't really have much open, but he gets another!
Wow.
An ace is on the board for Dead. A 4K. Teddy says GG, but it is Kronk alive. Kronk was cold in the 1v2 last time round out. He was able to stay alive, and especially on that dock, he can definitely still win this round out. He doesn't really know where he is. But Kronk does the pre-fire in the end. I'm going to say the Dead had no idea where the dock was, but a beautiful shot. Very, very close. A very close choke for the side of Wildcard Aces. But they lock it in. They lock in that round. And now they sit on series point.
I mean, honestly, I gotta give it to Dead. That was beautiful. That 4K was beautiful. I mean, he doesn't have the clutch gene, kind of like Kronk there, but I mean, hey, for it being a 1v4, 1v5, excuse me, that was still beautiful. It just is unfortunate that it ended that way, in my opinion. But we do see Wildcard Aces moving down to this kitchen site. They held it really well the last time, even though they did leave Kronk in a 1v2. They did hold it well, but at the same time, the utility usage and like the time they used on the attack for the Unk side of things, they played the attack really well as well. I think it was just came down to a misinformation on that on Teddy, and may be able to have Teddy get those 2 kills and not to get that refrag on him.
Yeah, beautiful in the end, but now we're going to see if they can lock this out fully. It's going to be hard though. Obviously, they were close in this last round out, very close. It came up to the name you said, Teddy, just able to clutch it out fully. Can the Unks do it, Holy? Do you believe in the overtime?
I believe in the overtime. I love to say when, you know, 10-mans were popular, I would love to scream, it's OT time, baby. And that's what I will scream if the Unks can close out this round, because I want to see it go OT. That is not looking good now. Beautiful 2 kills coming out from Schmink on a run out. Gets the initial picks on the Spook and Unstoppable. I mean, that's 2 people you don't really want to lose right now. They've been helping out a lot, but at the same time, Dead has been a huge support system for their end rounds. And Demi is able to answer back by killing Schmink and, you know, getting that pick back, but they are still in a misadvantage. Demi answers back again while I'm gonna swallow my words. And J-Man, refrag after refrag, I can't keep up.
Solaris getting another one off the board in the end. Teddy and JMN are very isolated. That's the one thing you can currently say. JMN all the way in house. Teddy in Geisha. Do they know about Teddy though? Again, he can be the factor in this round. Last time they had no idea he was inside, still on this top floor. It could be a similar situation. They must have heard though that call come out, so they must know he's at least somewhat close. If Dead and Solaris at least get together, figure out where Teddy is, they can take that 2v1 gunfight. But the thing is, it then goes back down to a 2v1 with a player left on site. This is what it came down to last time. It came down to a 2v2. Teddy and Kronk were the ones alive. This time it's going to be JMN. Instead, they're just going to be going for that main site execute. They don't really need the full gauge control if they work into barbecue.
Oh!
Teddy just pistol whipped him. Teddy just pistol whipped him.
Wow. So it comes down to another clutch. A 1v1 now from Dead. Beautiful shots on the JMN. He knows the last one is upstairs, and he knows he has plenty of time to kind of work and, you know, take his time on getting this plant down.
But some whiff shots. Teddy now knows where Dead is. The plant will be going down. The same player that lost that 1v1 last time. C4 goes out. Doesn't land, but neither do the bullets of Dead! Teddy missing the fight. Teddy's on 61 HP, so he has actually got the worst favor in this upcoming gunfight, but the pings are coming out. He's ran away. He's lost the control of sight now. Teddy shoots the default cam. I think was giving him the information. There's actually a drone inside. Wallbang nearly coming out. Teddy taken down to 14 HP. It's very close for either side to win this out. Diffuser starts to go down for a second time. He's looking for the pick. No C4 obviously left on the board. It was blown up. Still looking for the pick. Teddy's playing this perfectly though. Baiting out the plant, baking him out to get up and off of the plant. Running through, but doesn't bait him off this time. Dead knows what to run, and Dead takes him out. It's overtime.
It's OT time, baby. It's OT time. Let's go. What a beautiful shot from Dead. He has the clutch gene. He not only has almost won the last round, but this round we just played out, he won it for them in a 1v2 situation, and then the round prior with the 1v5 almost wins it out and closes out. But now he did be able to show that he does have that clutch gene, and I will swallow my words that he didn't have it, because it's fucking OT time. Excuse my French.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
I don't know if that was French. I would have probably called that English, but we are going to see Karaoke and T in the end. Obviously, Wildcard Aces, the favourable side pick on OT because it's their map pick. So the Unks are still not out of the woods. They have to win a primary or second bomb site. We've seen them do it before. They were able to technically win map 7 despite it being overturned in the end. They did win the round technically. So we're going to see if maybe they can refunnel that, get back their form, win it out, because they, in my opinion at least, the Unks, despite winning the same amount of rounds
5
of
seconds to go.
attack as Wildcard did, I think they've looked better on the attack of
Attackers
Skyscraper.
must locate and defuse a bomb.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, I really hope that I still obviously have my favorite of I want Wildcard Aces to win this match, but I mean the Unks are pulling it back. I mean they finally got an attack on the board, and I mean I wonder if their mental was kind of shaken up after that protest, and that's why you didn't really see any attacks coming on the board after that. But I think they can close it out. Demi's starting to kind of start heating up. Dead's heating up. I mean, we really just need to watch out for this initial aggressiveness. Like, Zolaris almost just gave another entry pick due to the Nitro, but that is now a Nitro off the board for the initial plan.
Yeah, it's very true. Obviously, Lars did go down to 22 HP, but he gets to keep all his utility. Surprisingly, not seeing the new can openers that, obviously, Sophia has just been given in the recent patch. I guess that she's just going to be outside on Windows, putting that Claymore down to make sure she can't be run out on. And we're going to see the Unks have full down source control and an opening pick. Schmink goes down. Demi has been very clutch in these most recent rounds, obviously getting that 2k back in that last round, and now getting the open pick onto Schmink, who has been on fire in these last 2 rounds. So calling out the flame that was Schmink is very important, but now they've still got more players to maybe pick apart and start to get down and execute. And I think now they're going for this Osa plant again. It did not work out for them. This Glaz and Osa combination just wasn't the right play, but they're going for the exact same play. I do like that they stick to their guns. They know what went wrong. They just got taken down to a pre-fire. I'm looking at a player right now. Zach Hill, though, bottom black. Doesn't Demi know about him?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if he knows about this lurk down. And hey, it doesn't matter. The guy on shingles is able to stop him. They still have that presence shingles, and they have a ton of presence on top black right now. I wonder what they're going to be trying to go for. Zach makes his presence known, gets one Oso shield down. They have to back off, and they have to be able to understand that all 3 of them were there. He just got that information, so now their guns are going to be paid attention to there. Sorry, there's 4 on the board. I did not pay attention to Zolaire still being alive. I thought he was dead, but he's still on purple window.
No, Dead's another player.
Yeah, sorry. Dead's the clutch, man.
But to be fair, I mean, that's my one issue with Osa, just so easy to counter, but she gets at least 1 pick before Solaris is finally dead. There you go. You got your wish. Solaris gets taken down, and then Osa taken down. So the Osa window, or the Osa mirror, or shield, whatever you want to call it,
Shield.
Osa window, mirror, shield, whatever you want to call it, is now down. It's unstoppable, also down in the end. All left up to Dead again in that clutch. He gets at least 1, nearly 2, but no time on the board. He has to rush all the way through. Can he get at least 1 more? No, not going to find it. It will be Teddy to finish him off yet again. That series point for Wildcard Aces. And honestly, yes, the Unks can now win a defense. Yes, they can now come back to 7-7. But I'd say the one negative on the board for them is the fact that after this, they have to go and attack the Office and Samurai bomb site. A bomb site that has looked so dominant for Wildcard Aces. It's been a flawless and then a nearly thrown flawless.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel bad for Dead, in my personal opinion right now. I feel like a lot of it is coming on down to him. I mean, obviously, it looks like he's more of a hard support player on attack side of things. He has the gun skill, but at the same time, you gotta expect, like, where are your entries? Who is making this initial push for you? Like, why are you not being helped out in this situation? You're being left in 1v2s, 1v5s, 1v3s, and so you gotta kind of have some sympathy for him. And like, he's trying to help, trying to do as much as he can for this team right now. We still have Unstoppable and Spook down at the 1 and 6 area. They're not really making it up there. I mean, Spook literally just got a kill after this last rehost that previous round.
I mean, yeah, that is definitely a negative, especially with the fact that they were the 2 players on Cafe that kept popping up. They were actually the clutch masters on Cafe. Spookato and Unstoppable made so many plays that allowed them to win rounds that looked like completely in the realms of defeat and then bring them back for their side. Can they maybe, if they wake up and maybe if they bring some more life into this team, it definitely could go the way of the Unks. But at the moment, you're right, they need to start just putting up some more numbers, as Dead has it all to do for his side. Schmink looking for any early pick he can on that karaoke window. Not going to find anyone. Unks playing this a little bit more passive, a little bit more close net. It's an interesting site selection. Obviously, this is the primary bomb site for both teams. It's the primary bomb site for most teams as well. But the Unks and Wildcard Aces both lost this site at one point. So I'm curious to see why the Unks maybe didn't favor the Officer Samurai, or even if Wildcard Aces didn't favor the Officer Samurai bomb site. But dead again! It's popping off! 9 and 5 in this game. That killer goes down. That's your own opening pick, and that's your Dopey down. No more calls are going to go out for him. But Dead gets another one! Kwon goes down as well. Schmink looking for the refrag. Can he find it?
He does not find it. Dead gets another kill after typing. Sorry, I was trying to hold back my laughter because he is sitting in a corner just killing these guys. Teddy responds, gets an initial pick, jumps in, you know, was able to get his life out. And then Zolaris swings and JMN is put down.
The impressive part about Dead right now is the fact he's using holographic and not AGL.
That's what I was thinking with Zolaris too. I have seen Zolaris on attack run a red dot B every single round, and I'm an ACOG guy, you know, I'm an old school ACOG kind of guy. I'm so surprised he's not running the ACOG. Same with Dead, not running the ACOG on Goyo. And Zolaris clears it out once again with the red dot B.
Let that man cook. You said you were like one of the old men, but they're literally the Unks. They're the oldest you can get, and we're seeing how they're running back the time, bringing it back all the way to 7-7 now. They definitely could have maybe won it out in regulation. Just imagine thinking right now, if only you had any other skin on, even default, you would have won this game.
Yeah, no, they would have won this game already. This game would have been over. Would have been on map 3 if we just locked in and, you know, took your skins off. I literally yell at my team anytime before we go into game day, because a lot of them are rank stars, to take your skins off. And, like, you know, so I'm not gonna give anybody free rounds, because you never know how far one round will go. You never know how far one kill will go. Like let's take initially back to Dead's 1v2 clutch. If the initial first gunfight he ever took killed him, it could have already been Wildcard's game, and we could have already been done with the set. So, like, you never know how far one little thing can go, especially in like a comp situation kind of like this.
I know this is completely off topic, but that honestly, that round with obviously the gridlock, it reminded me of a GNL game me and you once played in a group stage where we actually won 11 rounds due to a person running an illegal skin every single round.
Yeah, no, it can go a far way, because, like, especially, like, the one thing I do like about it is if it's not mentioned that round, they're not going to give you that round back. I've seen a lot of leagues and a lot of qualifiers be able to do that recently, and that is something that I do initially like, because, like, oh, hey, let me VOD review this map real quick to make sure no one had skins on. We see an initial pick come out from Dead.
Dead again.
Wow, he's really holding this back on it. I mean, he's on his back right now.
It's not frag, mate. What would you call it? Frag ace? He has an ace. Frace.
Yeah, no, he's fragging out. He's fragging out on the ace. I mean, best gun in the game. You're 2 armor, 2 speed. You're a really balanced operator, in my opinion.
I completely agree. Demi have an early round, but Zakilla takes him out. He's not ready for the refrag, and no one is there ready for it. And Shiming takes down Dead, Diffuser down, and Hard Breach down. And your main star player, Unspoken Spookio, definitely have to do something now in this round. Do they know, though, that Zakilla has pushed up close onto that Geisha single? I don't think they do.
I don't think they have that information, and, you know, you see this guy in Terrace, the Mute, baiting it out right now, and then Schmink swinging shingles to kill that Blitz. Zach looks like he's getting a little bit aggressive, you know, starting to swing top main, gets the kill onto, Spook, and then Zolaris, still outside with that red dot B, is not able to close it out. Wildcard Aces wins 2-0.
Yeah, that is game. That is no more. Wildcard Aces get the full 3 points, move themselves up all the way to 8 points on the board. Very strong showing for them, and a very strong moment for them to probably get out of groups. I've got to say, yeah, Wildcard Aces, they could be seen as maybe one of the favorites to even make it far in playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to, keep seeing them playing and, see what they can do inside their group. And I'm also excited to see the Unks play because, they really made Wildcard Aces run for their money. And, they gave them a hard 2 maps to play, honestly. I was excited to see if we went to a third map, but it just doesn't look like the last 3 were able to, close it out.
I got it wrong, sorry. Wildcard Aces are actually on 7 points now, with only 2 teams left now to play on their board. Obviously, that'll be Outlast Black and Envy, so the max they can get, it will be 13 points, but they're looking well to do so. Envy obviously top of another conference, 8 points for themselves. But wait, have I looked at this right? Yeah, Wildcard Aces on 7 points, Fluffy Aimers on 8, so that's the top team they're looking at. But right now, the Unks, they're not looking good. 1 point out of now 4 games. 0-4, 1 map won. The only map they won was all the way back on play day 1. And I don't mean play week 1, I mean generally play day 1. The first game of groups, they beat Mormon Battalion 8-7 on Cafe. They lost the game overall 2-1. And that's a funny thing, by the way. After they lost Cafe, Mormon Battalion got a sub, got Mendez in. Then Mendez joined the Unks as a sub. So that's just a little bit funny trivia. But right now, you've got to say if you're Unks fan, if you're Unks in general, you're looking at the realm of defeat, you need to win some more games. They still can qualify, but it's looking very, very bleak.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, never count someone that only has 1 point out. Like, you remember when we were playing comp together, we had 1 point going into playoffs of GNL, and then boom, we made grand finals. Didn't win grand finals, but it is what it is. And so you never count them out. You just can't do that to a team, especially a team that's making Wildcard Aces. I think you said was 4th in their group, 3rd in their group right now. Second in their group. Like, they're making a run for their money, and so I think they have a good chance of qualifying.
Yeah, but that will be all for us for tonight. I'm pretty sure. Let me quickly do a little check on when our next game day is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be, yes, I'm right. It will be Monday, actually. And that will be kicked off with Men of Mayhem versus O-Block. A very fun games for you on that night. But from us for today, from me and Hurley, that is all. Good night. All of you have a very great night, and thank you for tuning in.
Good night, everybody.
Just hold on.